Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hi, everyone. Hi. Congrats to aware_NPC1 for getting first. Hi, Ella. Hi, Ryan. Hi, Redbeard. It's good to see you all. I hope you're having a good day so far. I hope you ate something yummy today. I'm a little cute on the phone with Zora right now. Check this out. Look at him. I'm muted, but he's not. Yarp. Okay, that's all.
I'm good. I'm great.
That's all. Okay. Hello?
Hello.
Hi. How's your day going?
I'm good. I'm great.
Wow, that's so excellent.
Oh my goodness. How is
I'm
yours?
so glad to hear it. Oh, it's really good so far.
Oh, you're
Good. You're great.
I'm good. I'm great.
Yo.
Yeah. Purple dragon fella, that's so real.
Oh my goodness.
It's
You're the
so
horse.
real. The horse?
Yeah.
And what does that have to do with a dragon?
I don't know. I was just thinking about it.
Okay, well, that's pretty swell, I think.
Indubitably.
Okay. Yummy.
Yummy.
Do you want to be the host?
Oh, wow. I would love to be the host, I think.
Yo, oh my gosh, making you do things.
Oh my
It's new.
gosh. Doing things. Mick, oh my goodness. Big
Man,
Sauce is here.
yippee.
I love that fella. Hi, Careful. Zora not live. No, he's a hater. He said he hates all of his Twitch community, actually.
I specifically was like, man, I'm not going live because of mixed salsa.
Yo! That's so messed
Sorry.
up. You can't talk about my friend like that. I'll beat you
Oh,
up.
okay.
Okay, let me know if your invite works.
Did you even send one?
Yeah, surely.
Nope.
Well, I invited someone.
It wasn't me.
Oh, whoops.
Whoops.
Wink, that's so cheeky of you.
Oh, okay.
When I'm sad, but I'm also feeling a little cheeky. You invited? Oh.
Yo,
Wait, Mick, hop on.
this is crazy.
Sorry, a Freudian slip.
Mhm.
I love mixed salsa.
Yo, boy.
Oh, wow, I love hearing you twice.
Oh, you're so welcome. How do I sound?
I'm great.
You sound like you're talking through a kazoo a little bit. That wink has aura. What kind of aura is that? We can hear him twice
Turn it
too?
down.
No, I kind of like the echo. I think it adds to it. Okay, never mind. You're getting turned down.
Oh my god.
Okay. Oh my god. I love ICO Kami VT. Wowie. Here, I'll squeak for you. Look at this giant squeak.
Don't run away from me, this squeak.
Sorry. I'm good. Okay. Okay, listen up. Pretty cool, huh?
Glurp.
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 Glurp. That's pretty real.
Glurp.
You're looking so glurp today.
Oh, thank you. How do I look?
Kinda
This
chopped.
is not good. Butchered.
Yeah.
How do I look better? Oh.
Oh an
What
ice
is
climber.
this? Yeah, but
Like,
my
I'm
forehead is the mountain.
That hairline is
Oh, you
not
wanna be the
looking
pink
at.
one?
I don't know if I
You don't
have
have it?
that. I don't know. No, I don't
It's right to
know.
the right of the astronaut one.
Yeah, I don't have it. I don't know where you got that
Bro,
from.
this is cooked. I can't be doing this.
Where did you get it?
You have to like climb the ice mountain without taking over like 20% cold damage.
Oh, I have the hot version. I have the like cowboy.
Ew.
Yeah, I really liked
Oh.
it when it was like the Baby No Money collab because I had what was I wearing? Because I had the astronaut
Okay.
suit with the Iron Mouse hair, and I think it looked so cute. But I hate being
Yeah,
forced to be bald.
I know.
Yeah.
So like, what should I wear? Is this chill?
Fit
You're not gonna
check.
laugh at me? Like, what is it? What's up?
Well, are you
He's
wearing
good.
like footy socks? Oh, you have
Don't
cleats
call him
on.
that.
Oh, sorry. You have like
Don't
cleats
call him
on.
that.
Footy
Surely
socks?
this is better.
Um,
Where's the drip?
that's what I'm saying. R.I.P. the Iron Mouse
Bro.
hair. I'm so sad they removed it. Yeah, me too. Literally, like, all of these options are so bald looking. People.
kinda
Sorry, I
real.
would like to apologize to all my baldies out there.
I would like to not apologize. I think we
Okay.
should ban them.
Okay, well, that's kind of messed up.
I
Like,
know.
look how goofy and bald this looks. My head is so egg.
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 There's no good
They
head
removed
option.
it? There's not. Yeah,
Never mind.
they removed it. It was only for that one weekend, unfortunately.
This is the best option I've ever seen.
Wait, you look like Carlos from Big Time Rush.
I'm not my grandma!
It's real. I don't say that. Hey, that's so real.
We already talked about this. If anyone's
Yeah.
going bald, it's not gonna be me.
Why would it be me?
Because
Ears
it
best.
just seems right.
I see. I haven't played this game by myself. I don't have ears. Pick from these options. Ugh, it's cooked. I'm crying. Careful, are you bald? I'm sorry. Maybe you could invest in a nice little hat.
Maybe you can get a hair system.
System?
Yeah, they don't call them toupees anymore. They call them hair systems.
Really? A system is crazy.
I think it was like maybe people were offended.
By the word toupee?
I guess.
Interesting. I'll do it for you. I see. Would you really do that? That would be so swag. I would say, yippee!
Is this drip?
You kind of got homeless drip.
Oh, sheesh.
Sheesh.
Okay, yeah, I'll take it.
I want the ice climber.
Well, like,
It's
is it
cute.
snow today?
I don't know.
Let's like try to get it.
Okay, let's try to get it. I am the bald O.
I'm so sorry.
Do you have a nice little hat? Guys, I'm not ever gonna be bald. I'm sorry.
That's not true. You're already halfway there.
No, I'm not. Why would you say that?
You would only get so offended if you're already like halfway out the door. Glurp.
No. I'm actually like pretty proud of my hair.
I'm pretty sure when you wipe your forehead, it goes ear ear.
That's messed up. That's so messed up. Balding and malding is crazy. You can't say that.
That's a little crazy.
I have nice hair. I guess it was nicer before I dyed it pink. And now it's like half
Well,
bleached.
that's why you're gonna go bald. You cooked yourself.
Oh, does bleach make you go bald?
Yeah.
I didn't know
You're like
that.
the host, so you gotta start it.
Oh, sorry. I'm not used to hosting.
I know, you're not used to driving the bus.
I'm not. Do you like the scent too?
I like whatever you got.
Well, that's the highest I got.
Okay, let's do that then.
Spot, that's so mean. Why would you say that? Foolish decided to only have 2 ears. Listen, I didn't want my skull to look goofy as hell. I think I'd rather the sides of my head be flat than to have strange little 4 ear canals. I wear a hat for work and I'm good when I'm not working. I don't know. I feel like some people can pull off being bald, but Zora's not one of them.
Bro, shrimp did me dirty.
Wait, they gave you like a little like goatee as well. Ate
Yo,
that
they're
up.
mean a pit bull.
Ate that
It's for
up.
worldwide.
Oh my god, that's so awesome. Dye it pink again? Well, Mick, if I dye it pink again, then I have to like dye it forever. Like it'll never go back to how it was. I'll always have like dark roots. I don't know if I can commit to that. We're talking about IRL hair? I don't know what we're
Yeah.
talking about. Either
I
way.
feel like a wear could be bald.
You think so? I could see them
Not
wearing a
saying
little
like it-
beanie.
A little beanie, but like
A little beanie.
it slips off every once in a while because there's no hair underneath.
What? I don't think that's how it works, really.
Oh, I thought it was like a.
See, hi. It's so good to see you. Happy Funky Monkey Friday, everyone.
Oh my god.
I want to be bald and live my wig dream. I think you should. I think you should. I think you could pull it off. Thank you for the lurk, Buddhist. Am I collabing? My collab partner's not live, but he is a streamer. This is twitch.tv/Zorelius. He's an ice dragon. Look at him.
Here.
Do you have an
Look at
elevator
me. Check this
pitch?
out.
Okay.
Glurp.
Wow. You heard it here first,
That's my
folks.
page.
Glurp. Do you have things in your backpack?
No, I got nuts.
They're not even in your backpack. Okay. You took the
No,
backpack
I gotta cook
in
them.
here.
Oh,
Yeah, you have that.
you can have it if you like want it.
No, I don't want it. That's all
Okay.
you. My goodness, I love this song. Thank you for the 5-student streak, Ryan. He's a bald ice dragon, trust me. Well, if anyone would know, it's you. Be honest, is Zora bald? Inquiring parties really want to know. I guess the scent makes you really hungry, huh? Hello? Why does he sound like a light version of Vettel? Is he No, he's not British.
What the fuck?
Wait. Wait, speak.
Bro,
Speak.
indubitably.
That
I'm not
is
British.
that is pretty British of you to say.
This is kind of messed up. I don't think I want to stream with you anymore.
Maybe he's like British on the DO. Going
Don't
to
ever
be-
say that.
Oh, that sister.
Oh my
He
goodness.
got one. That's so awesome. I can envision that pretty easily.
Don't ever say that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you for the lurk, Jarchi. Have him say bottle of water, please. Can you please say bottle of water?
A bottle of water, please.
Okay.
Did I do it right?
Yeah, you did so good. Yo! Yoink.
Oh, I thought you were taking the cookies.
No, I'm a milk enjoyer.
Yeah. Bro.
He's British, yo.
Am I being rage baited? Or was I really that convincing?
I don't know. I think you do kind of have British aura.
Don't say that shit to me ever again. I'd rather be bald.
I think you're both.
Yo! Crikey.
Yeah. So awesome. Wait, chat, does anyone know if it's a ice day or a fire day?
Ice day or fire day?
Yeah, the like the desert or the winter.
There you go.
Zora does not have British aura. Okay, well I feel like you're just glazing him. He sorta does.
I was being glazed.
Bald British. Oh. British bald ice dragon. That's interesting.
BBD.
Don't say that. Why you got rid of the ice part?
Yeah, like BBID sounds like a disease. I don't think I want it.
You do kind of have. Never mind.
Don't say whatever you're about to say.
I'm
Where do you wanna go?
sorry. Up.
It's like, do
Maybe
not try this without
this-
talking to your doctor first. Side effects are BBID, dying, exploding.
Exploding. I was kind of far away, so I didn't hear you that good, but that was kind of
Get
nice.
over here.
Over here. Oh. BBID. Can someone
Talk to your
make
doctor
like
if your BBID starts acting up.
my BBID is always acting up.
She.
Shut up.
I'm great.
I'm good. I'm great. Ugh. Man, I wish you were streaming. You have nicer themes. I want to spam them.
Yeah, it's a shame that nobody can do.
Sigh. What if I say, please,
Sigh.
please, 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 please.
And I could
Please,
be
please,
like,
please, please,
Yoda,
please,
Yoda
please.
does it.
Yo! I didn't ask for a purr, but this
Good
is
enough.
awesome.
Oh.
Can you purr? Yeah! This is so awesome.
Bro.
Surely we
This is
win.
your stream.
I know.
I thought this was your stream. I'm just getting clowned on and doing the deeps. This ain't right.
Well, you're my mod, so it's like, part of the
Yeah,
brand?
freedom.
Yeah, you don't. Slap! She! That's so messed up.
Slappers.
Ew. What the hell? I don't wanna be
Buddy,
slapped.
Apu, duh.
I wanna be like, pat on the head nicely.
Oh, somebody bonk her,
Okay, well, that's not really patting me on the head nicely.
please.
Ew, don't say please to that. Where'd you go? Gee, that's crazy. He's got BBID, I don't know.
Yo. That's one of the side effects.
Ew. So real. Oh, I don't have a bunk command. I'm sorry, I see.
It's a bonk redeem, bro. Oh,
He's
thanks
trying
for
to bonk
that.
you.
That was helpful. Wait, bonking me?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. Ask Icy.
Alright, whatever.
I wish you could. Whoa. I wish you could.
You're trying to kill me.
I'm not trying to kill
I got
you.
all the goods. I
I'm
got
gonna
you.
die. What? Why Why can you grab bro? Messed up. I gotta go. Gotta go up. So we're so scared of someone redeeming poop pants so they don't go live a lot. You know, I think that's a good theory.
I just don't want to buy another chair.
Buy another chair?
Well, yeah.
It's gonna be that diabolical that like it
I
goes
have
through.
BBID. It just happens like that.
It's going through your underwears and your
Don't
pants.
say underwears with an S like I got do on.
No, I feel like you're the type to wear too.
Don't say I'm doubled undied up on a Friday afternoon.
Just in case, I don't know.
Don't say that.
I don't know. You just seem prepared
I
like
don't
that.
want. You sound like I'm fucking Captain Underpants. I'm bald and I got underwear on like crazy.
Maybe you do. Oh, that's so awesome. I bonk him because he won't do anything but suffer and in.
Bro.
What? Is he known for falling off the mountain? He's
Call me
pantsless?
British.
Double undied? Oh my god, there's so much slander going on in my chat right now. Good night, Cozy. Can we get some tucks for Cozy?
Hold on a second.
Holding. Type. Yo! What do you mean?
Where's my fish tuck at? Go get fish tucks in chat.
Oh my goodness. It's real. You
So
didn't
we're
even
fish
try.
tucks.
What? Double undied up on a Friday night.
Don't not fish tuck me. I got double undies on. You can't fish tuck me. It doesn't work.
Have you ever worn 2 pairs of underwears before?
Don't say have I ever wear 2 pairs of underwear before.
Oh, like genuine
No,
question.
how is that real? That sounds
Well, I'm
painful.
just. Oh, are you wearing like? Never mind.
I don't want to go into my undie stats.
Okay.
I'm good. I'm great.
I don't know. What if you're wearing like boxer briefs under and then like the loose kind of boxers on top?
So I'm like
So it's not like too
compression.
tight.
I don't even get it. I don't want to alternate types.
No, I'm saying at the same time. Real ones go commando. I did that once. Well, I used to do that a lot, but
You wanna
something
finish that sentence.
something unfortunate happened, and now I don't do that anymore. I rope
Glurp.
school. Glurp. Do we need this? I'm not really rope pilled. I'm gonna leave it here.
Okay.
It's hungry in here. Zora wears 3 lengths
hungry
of
in here, I can
underwear.
help you.
Oh, it's okay. We're almost to the top.
Okay.
Okay.
I wear 4 different pairs of underwear, and they each have every Big Time Rush band member's face on them on their own individual layer.
Which one's closest to your booty? So awesome. Wow. Well, then surely you won't need a new chair. Surely that's like
Yeah,
good
that's kind
enough.
of real.
Oh, got an achievement for that.
Yo, you can really do a good job.
Well, I thought it was the same one every time. I didn't know they were like all different entries.
No, there's a bunch. This one has the Scoutmaster's handwriting on it.
It's not very good.
Okay.
Well, he puts like the I don't know what you call it. The necklace
E
of the
line?
E? Yeah, it's so... How did you know that's what I was gonna say? It's so low.
Yeah, it kind of doesn't look right.
Yeah, not my favorite.
He's like low-key dead though.
No, he's not. He's like a crawly fella.
He's like a skeleton.
Yeah, that's not dead, surely.
Okay, well, I'm dead.
Yeah, it's different. Thank you for the lick, Meg. Oh, yeah.
Yippee.
Yippee. Excuse me. Wait, is cooking milk good or not?
I don't think it matters.
Oh.
I don't know.
Well, I know for like the cans, they'll explode. I didn't know if milk did
Okay.
anything. Right? Am I tripping?
Oh, yeah, that's real, but it's fine.
Oh, okay. Yippee!
Oh, we have to get through the whole route. It's gonna be... Why am I so heavy?
Why are you so
A lot
heavy?
of coconuts.
I can take a coconut for you. Oh, you do have a lot.
Okay,
I'll take this. Hold on, I gotta clear my throat. Give me a sec.
no worries.
I'm ready. Thank God.
Okay, I think it's chill.
Yo, what if I told you that I had you unmuted in Discord and I heard everything, and you were like, "Bleh."
Well, I don't mute on stream. I just tapped my mic, so I would not
Oh,
believe
okay.
you.
It was like lighting up.
What? It wasn't.
It was.
Well, it wasn't.
I would say too if it was lighting up.
I think you're
Where'd you get that
trolling.
from?
I found it. Check this
Am I
out.
on it?
I say there's fireworks in this game. But I guess that's
That would be
good.
really nice.
I think that'd be funny. 6-7. Oh my god.
Boing. Google it. Google it.
Google it. Google it. Google it. I'm going this way.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I said I'm going this. Oh, you're over there, huh? Wait, come back.
6-7.
I don't know how to get to you.
I don't either, but like this is like totally the right way to go.
I'll get ya. You got a what? Ow!
My legs!
Oh,
Oh, fine.
you've got so loud.
Oh, sorry.
Oh.
Who was that?
Sorry, that was my tummy. Sure.
I ate a man.
Was he tasty?
No, he had no room.
You ate a man with mushrooms?
Yeah.
Okay. Don't crawl away sadly. Can we get some F's in chat for the soggy bald man? Game audio crackling. Why
It'll
did I
fix
say that
it
was-
eventually.
That happened yesterday too. What? Don't say that. Oh, okay. If I yell, I can hear myself. Are you not wearing headphones? Oh, that's awesome. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Oh.
Ow.
Wow, you being underneath me was so clutch. Like walking on your head.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was a strategy.
It wasn't. My head hurt.
Oh. It's okay. Oh, you don't have any cushion. Ball. just
Bro.
bald and sad. Oh, hi. Excuse me.
Hi.
What you doing? Get! Get! Bro. You're throwing. Oh my god, a carrot.
That's for you. Don't say, is that a carrot?
I like carrot. Yippee! I'm gonna eat this. Oh yay!
Oh, yeah.
Hey. Zora karaoke win.
I was actually thinking about it.
Really? Oh my goodness!
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
Oh my god, you should. You should do that tomorrow.
Bro.
Oh, sorry. You should do that Sunday.
Bro.
Monday?
Shrimp.
Shrimp! Oh my goodness. Shrimp.
Look at this.
Look at this. Yippee!
And like, wait, the wind.
Okay, I'm waiting. Yippee!
And we go up here.
Okay. Wow, you're so
Chilling.
professional.
Yeah. Kinda cool.
Have you ever climbed before?
I have. Well, not good, but like, it wasn't official, you know?
Wait, what does that mean? Is it like a mountain? Or like
Well, it was like
A
more
rock
like
wall?
me and a friend went on that hike, and there was a lot of, I guess it was like a college or something. They were doing like rock climbing. They basically had like a team, and like
Yo!
they were like setting up courses and stuff. And we were just kind of like goofing around and seeing if it was even possible for us to even try the first 10 seconds. It wasn't. And then we
Was
got
it
yelled
too
at.
steep? Oh.
Yeah, some guy was like above us, and his ass was just dangling down. He's like, "Bro, get off from under me!"
Oh.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's a little scary.
It's chill.
Okay. Yippee!
Yeah, buddy.
Yuck.
Yeah.
I don't like the cannons. I don't think it's ever
I
worked
think
for
you're
me.
next to me.
Oh, well. No. Fuck.
Call me a poet artist.
Wow, you're such a poet artist.
you go.
There's so many
Oh my god.
things. What is going on? Yo, thank you. Yeah. Pretty cool.
Wah, wah. Star brown. It's a shame that you didn't find a mandrake with the stove.
Oh, well, there's one. I always throw them. I feel like
If you cook
can't...
one and eat one, you get an achievement.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh. But that means you have to carry it, right? Once you fall asleep?
You kind of just like carry its stove and find a mandrake. It's like easier to do it that way.
It'll surely happen eventually.
I know it's a strat here, but it might be this.
What's your strat? Strategy.
We're gonna go up here.
Baby.
When I smack it and you watch it bounce right
Okay,
back.
no, don't say
Oh,
that
sorry.
part.
Okay. Well, like, that's the part I think about every time.
Okay, well, that
It's a little, like,
sounds
not
like-
good up here, so, like, let's be quick.
Okay. Zora's just a poet. Haven't seen any of his art. You haven't?
No.
Hmm,
It's unfortunate.
that is unfortunate. You've made art before, right?
I had, like, a little arc where I tried to draw.
Yeah.
I'm about to die. Oh, wait, I can stand here.
You're okay. Come here.
Why?
Got dad lungs.
I could post a couple of the art things in your server later.
That would be so nice. I love seeing art so much.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
She goes boom.
She don't fuck with me.
Why is it still farting?
I don't know.
Do it stop?
Don't say do it, stop.
I'm about to die. It's Stanky. Help.
What, how can I help you? Do you want a band-aid? Oh, yeah. Are you chill?
My python.
I don't know where you are. Your python?
I'm down here. No, what?
I wish I had a python.
You
Bro.
have an anaconda. Sorry.
What?
Nothing.
Okay. The art comes from his vocal cords.
Bro.
That's real. Did you know he makes song covers?
Oh, I'm going back under.
Back under? But, what? Chill.
Oh, it's getting slippery.
Um,
I'm hungry. I'm hungry.
you're
Oh
hungry.
my god. Don't mind the peanut shells on the floor.
Don't spam emotes when you're dying. Here.
I'm sorry, I couldn't. Oh, thank you.
What the hell? I don't know what this is.
How do we get back up there?
I don't know. It's such a good question.
Let's go back up there.
Okay, it wasn't very, like, safe up there, I don't think.
Well, like, there was a way, but, like, I needed a second to not die.
Okay. Just like the TV show.
No.
Yeah.
This is cooler. We gotta, like, go over there,
Over there?
you know?
Can
Somehow.
we make the jump to the vine? Oh, and just go this way.
We can get to the vine, but, like, I don't know what the part after that. Oh, wait, it's windy. It's perfect. It'll help us.
If you say so.
Speed going across the wall this way.
I don't think I can.
To me.
To me.
You're like... Oh my god.
No, it's fine. It's chill. It's chills. Cheers, bombs. Okay.
Well, now we're here. I don't really know what else.
You said this was the way.
I was goosebumps. Sorry, let's go over here. It stinks. Don't go over here.
Okay.
Come here.
Okay. You said don't go over there. Sing.
I'm
Just come over here.
indecisive a little bit.
Yeah, I can tell. Oh, yeah.
6, 7.
6, 7. You should Google 6, 7. Is this a Python moment? Oh, you made
what?
it. How did
I
you
got
make
you.
it?
Okay.
Hold on. Oh, I don't have stamina. You don't recover stamina very quickly on the mushroom. Did you know that?
No, it's really patient.
Have you ever been on a trampoline?
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever have a trampoline?
No, but like I had a friend that did, and I would go over.
That's so
Oh,
awesome.
wait.
Oh. Hold on.
I don't know how to help you. Slam.
Did you like have extra stamina or something?
I had a little bit extra, but I should be able to help.
Your sweaty hand.
Oh, it's not sweaty. You're cooking
You
me.
let go of me. I slipped because I was so sweaty.
Oh,
Sorry. I didn't mean that.
no, you did.
Yeah, I did. Sorry.
I know. I do say that a lot, bro.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make you like aware of it. Just like if I was doing a
Oh, my
Zora.
legs.
Oh, what's? Are you
If you were
hurt?
doing a what?
If I was doing
No,
a
I'm
Zora
good.
impression, I would probably hit that.
Boom.
What? 91
Oh,
is
my bad.
67 upside down? I don't think that's real. I don't think the 1 and the 7 have the same hat length. Is your leg chill?
Ow.
Ow?
I'm a little injured.
Oh, come here.
I'm like cooked.
Okay, well, come here. I'll help you.
Where'd you go?
Ouch.
Ah, fuck, I'm even more hurt.
No, you're fine.
Okay,
Is
thanks.
that
I'm all
better?
better.
Okay, that's good.
Okay, this is like...
This is sus.
No, it isn't.
Okay.
Alright, we just gotta get up here a little bit.
Okay, I can get up there a little bit. Woo! Man.
Slam dunk.
Squeak, squeak.
Uh-uh. How would I ever miss a shot?
Oh my god, that's me if I was a basketball player.
Twinty, because...
Thank you. It's okay, it's backwards. Thank you for the hydrate and stretch. Oh my god, thank you. Can you keep doing that? Thanks.
Yeah, boy.
New strat just dropped. Do you have water? Oh my god, thank you. You hydrate too. Oh my god.
So thirsty.
That is such an audible gulp.
Wait.
You're going like towards the red, it looks like.
Yeah, but like over here is fine.
You sure? What if we went up this tree and across this side to there?
Okay.
Well, I don't know. Where are you?
I'm right here.
Oh,
To
okay.
your left. Is this better or is the tree better? Oh, this might work.
I'm getting mushrooms. If that changes anything.
Yeah, it's like fine. We just gotta go across the line.
Okay. Yippee! Oh, thank you so much for the follow, Blue Alley. Oh, wait.
Yippee.
I'm cooked. Goodbye.
Oh, bro.
Wait, I didn't take any damage. That was kind of cinema.
Come back.
How?
Wait, maybe there's rope in one of these chests.
Wait, I think I can just get to you. My stamina is not looking
Oh, I gotta rescue
excellent.
Paul. Wait. It's just chill.
Oh, come in.
I got food.
Yum.
Here, take one of these. Oh.
Oh, I have a coconut too, but I was saving it. Oh, thank you so much. Milk.
You still hungry?
Not really. I
Oh,
love
careful with
milk.
Wendy.
It's windy.
Shit, Wendy.
Real. I love the wind. Maybe not in this game particularly. But like in real life, I'm a big wind enjoyer. Oh my god, more milk!
Oh, that's nice.
Milk. Do you want some milk?
No.
What?
Okay.
Yummy!
Yummy.
Oh my god, milk emoji. I haven't had banana milk in so long. It's so good.
I'm not enlightened.
Oh, it's so good. I've only ever seen it at the Korean store. That's kind of low-key far away.
Yeah, that's why I'm not enlightened.
Oh man.
You There's like some beetles over here. Is that chill?
Yeah. Beetles are so cute. No, not banana ketchup. I don't know if you can even get that here.
I hope not.
Well, it's in the Philippines, cause like we got a carrot. Thank you. Because Ozzy's talked about it
Somehow you
before.
ate it while flying. Come here. You're
Sorry.
gonna die.
No, I'm not. Oh. I thought that was fun and exciting. I didn't think it would be a big deal.
Cooper. No, bro, get these little fellas out of here. Stop it!
That's
I don't want it.
I really like the Beatles in this game. I mean, I guess as a game mechanic, they're
Get away from me, bro.
But, like, look-wise...
They look like the little Animal Crossing guy.
Oh. They're so cute. Animal Crossing.
No!
There's not a bug Animal Crossing guy, is there? Are you cooked? Well, shoot, you can't be dead.
I'm literally about to die.
I don't know where you
I'm
are.
fucked.
Well, shoot. You should not have came back from me, bro. Beetles. Yeah.
What the hell is going on?
Where
Help.
are you? You're like under the floor.
My leg.
Where? What?
I'm up.
Oh, you're up? Why am I down?
It's okay, I think I figured out how to kill them.
How to kill them?
I'm sorry, they need to die.
That's so messed up. I didn't know you could
Hang on to something.
hanging.
Shut up. Now's not the time. The situation. Dirty slide.
Sorry. They don't understand my motion. Where are you?
I don't.
Where's your...
Oh my god!
Where? Oh, if only you had the milk that I wanted to offer you. Do you know where my backpack is, perchance? Oh.
I don't know.
I don't want either. There's a chain launcher in
Something crazy going on.
there. There's something in the air.
There's something in the air.
Is that
It's
the
all
whole...
coming out now.
Well, that's like a separate one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is this
I think
bouncing?
it was up here. You were wearing your backpack.
I am? Oh my god. This is so good. Wait, but my milk
Alright, we gotta
is
get up here.
somewhere.
I drank it.
That's fine. We gotta get more milk. That's the best item in the game, low-key.
We gotta get up there, but like I'm mushroomed up like crazy. It's windy, careful.
Oh man.
You keep going down.
It's fine. Oh, I'm sorry. Does this help you? Are you dead? My bad, Chief. I don't know where you fell.
Nothing has ever happened to me.
What?
I'm dead.
Why did you give up?
I went down to the bottom.
I could have helped you.
No, you couldn't.
Yes, I could have. Now I'm cooked.
No, you're not cooked. You're almost at the top.
I am.
Just keep going straight and right. Up and to the right. There you go. Oh, you can't climb your shit.
Okay, well, that's why it would have been so nice if you didn't give up.
Well, like, you couldn't have gotten me.
Okay, well, not really believing in me, are you?
I made the executive decision.
To die? What is this? Oh, it exploded because I kicked it. Yeah, that makes sense,
This is what happens when you eat banana ketchup.
Is it?
It's windy when you get up there, be careful.
Be so careful. I know, I can, like, hear myself. Surely you got this.
Oh.
Thank you, Jarchi.
My bad.
Can we get some flowers in chat?
For what?
Me. Cloud fungus. That sounds nice.
Careful, don't go next to that spider, that's what killed me.
nice, thank you. I didn't think that would work. Oh man. I need a carrot.
You go behind you. It's better. Up there.
Up
If you
here?
throw the cloud fungus at the wall or something.
I'm not really familiar with cloud fungus. Is it just shelf, but
Just a, yeah.
prettier? Nice, nice.
Doesn't balance.
Yeah, but it's a nice texture. Can we get a stock market recap? No. I'm a bit uninformed. I checked my stocks yesterday, though. Hi, thank you.
Invest in honeycombs.
Yo. That's maybe real. I gotta go to the grocery store.
Like.
Huh?
Okay. Can you feel the rush? Up the tree is good.
And then what?
Yeah, I don't know. Up the tree is not good.
Darcy, what do you mean you don't believe in me? Girl. Thank you. Look, I'm doing okay. It's so chill and fine.
Go down.
You
Go that
said
way.
up the
The other
tree was
way.
good. Girl, I can't see.
Go the opposite way of where you're going.
You said up the tree.
You're gonna get cooked by that spider.
It's okay, I like spiders.
No, 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 I don't.
Well,
Don't go off the damn tree.
you said go up the tree.
Well, like, I changed my mind.
Oh, well. I'm sorry, I'm already on board.
Now you're up the tree.
I'm up the tree.
I'm
think I
telling
can
you
go
to go
this
that
way.
way. Bro, oh my god.
Is that what you mean? This way?
Yes.
Okay, don't be like, oh
Or
my
the other
God.
way. You know what? This is
Oh
crazy.
my god. Dead people can't
You just
talk.
follow directions.
I'm trying. Yeah. Okay, what are your
Try
directions?
harder.
Okay, I'm trying harder. What are your
Follow
directions?
that vine. Wait, that's crazy.
Which
Never mind.
vine? The one that's under me?
Just keep going the way you're going.
Okay, are you gonna yell at me for not following instructions?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's kind of messed up. I can't go anywhere.
Sorry, I have
from here.
BBID. Mood swings are apart.
Yeah, I can tell. Okay, surely there's a mouse tool. Do you think? Do you think? Is this a tree? Is this?
There's a cloud. Go left a little bit. There's a shelf mushroom on the tree.
Oh, very.
That's right. Oh my god.
I'm wrapping around. I'm wrapping around.
No, you're not. You
So
just
you-
misclicked. You did a misinput and you were like, oh shit. I gotta wrap around.
Ew.
Oh. Sorry, I was locked in.
I didn't like that very much. Okay. Not the mouse tool. Did you guys watch Mickey Mouse Clubhouse? I watched it a little bit,
Hot dog.
but it wasn't my favorite. I'm up
There's
a
nowhere to
tree.
go up here.
Okay, well,
Oh my god. Aim for the mushroom. Where are you going? Get off the...
I was aiming for the vine.
Bro. Okay.
I didn't think I
Right-
could make the
okay.
mushroom.
Oh my god. It's stressing me out.
Okay, well, I'm stressing me out
Okay,
too, so
Look,
it's fine.
go to the right.
What if I eat this?
Go that way.
Do you think this is
Okay,
chill?
what? It might kill you.
But what if it doesn't? Purple,
Go ahead.
purple seems like a good color, right? Oh man.
Oh, it's like not bad. hope you're wearing 2 pairs of underwear.
Stop.
Go up, you're gonna get flung. Go up!
There's a.
Go up that way. Yeah.
Okay.
Don't fart again.
I'm not
What are you
gonna.
doing?
I watched Roly Poly Oly. Yo. I didn't, but I saw like the trailers for it.
Okay.
Okay.
Do you see the way you're going?
Aw, I'm a zombie, I think.
Go the opposite way.
Okay. Like up this tree?
Yeah, there you go. Go up there. Not up the tree, but like up the rocks to the left of it.
Okay. Dunk stuff. Yeah, I think Really Pulley Oly was like slightly a little before my time. But my mom really liked this show called Oswald, and it was like a little blue octopus with a wiener dog. And anytime we watched Oswald together, we'd get like the little previews for Really Pulley Oly. Why am I mushroomed up? I don't know what that means. Does that mean I don't get hungry?
What? Oh, it just means you can't see your bar.
Oh.
Go to the mushroom. You know what? Yeah, maybe the mushroom.
Mushroom?
Mushroom and then up.
Green. You think green's good?
Sure.
None of them are that good, it seems.
Go, oh my god, you're blind.
Them. What color do you want?
What color do you want? Hang on to the vine.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's windy right now. You can't even tell.
Oh.
I got this new surgical saw, and I want to use it. When you can see again, I know where to go.
Well, I don't need to see. Where should I go?
I don't want to.
Can I go up the
fuck around
vine?
and find out.
I love doing
Better wear your
that.
cuda.
Why?
The fog is coming, or is that the out of the map? I don't know.
Does it look blue
Okay.
for you?
Go. Oh my god, no! What the fuck?
Oh man. Oh, my eyes look kind of awesome though. That was warm up, surely. Yo! I got a thing. This is kind of poggers. I think that was worth it. Oh. I spit water on myself.
How? Why are you gripping me? Get off!
Oh, sorry, I'm not trying to. You're gonna... Hold on just a second.
Okay.
I think it's fine. It wasn't like a lot.
What happened?
Well, I have like a water bottle, and I keep the like lid closed in case a cat comes and knocks it over. And so I opened it, and it exploded a little bit.
Oh, that's awesome.
I didn't really say it was awesome, but it was fine.
You just got splattered.
I did.
What if I said that?
What if I said that? Full immersion. And Georgie, how does that help with immersion? Yo! Why are you so mean to me lately? I was too close to you and I couldn't see your hands doing the thing, so it looked like you were just hitting me with the brim of your hat. Like, I unlocked the thing, I think.
Yo.
It's not excellent.
Looking a little chopped.
Yeah. Did you win? Yeah, I think so. In a way.
Somebody won.
Somebody was trying to carry the team and folded under pressure. Sorry.
It's okay. Let's try that again.
Yeah. Raccoon Scout. What is a Raccoon Scout?
I don't know. I think it's like.
Oh. Oops. I didn't mean to cut him off. She's supposed to climb down. George! What the hell? Sorry, I cut you off.
It's like the thing that your badges go on, the little sash.
Oh.
You can get different color ones.
Oh, I think I have green and blue, and
You got
that's
blue.
it. Blue. Mhm. My
Oh, I
chat's
see a
not
dark
being
blue.
particularly nice.
That's kind of regular.
I know. Do you think there's peanuts in this?
Uncle Peanut Ed Sheeran.
I think it's just cashews. I'm always nice, I'm the nice one. Is that true? I don't think that's true. Yeah! That's so nice. I can't think of an example where you weren't nice, but I just don't think that's true. Game idea, you're a cat in a big ass tree trying to climb down without dying. That'd be kinda cute, like a platformer. Earlier you were on Zora for his BBID. Well, that's Zora.
Oh, fucked up.
That's Zora. That doesn't really count. I'm always nice. Sometimes that's not true. You gave me a flower and then took it away. That was maybe the meanest thing anyone's ever done to me on stream. Zora at? Oh, he's in a tree.
Hi.
Hi. Ah, you eat the shell. Yippee!
What? Shellfish. Oh my god, I love that.
I don't think a coconut counts as shellfish, but maybe. You can't think of any not nice moments, and my statement is true. I think on your stream yesterday, you were being not nice to me, maybe.
Maybe.
That feels right.
Ready?
Uh-huh. Oh my god, hi.
Hi.
Hi. Icy's always nice. I want to see
Why are we just
Mocking
lying?
Jarchi. I think Mocking Jarchi would be kind of awesome. We are lying.
I want to see Meowing Jarchi.
I want to see Meowing Jarchi too. That's so cute.
Pretty.
I like those. No. What if I say please? Can you be convinced?
Have you considered? Please, 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 please.
Yeah, real. Please, 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 please. Maybe this is good. Just want laughing Georgie. No special requests. Well, that makes one of us. Yo, wait, you like this one. So that's purple.
Okay.
Hey. Nice.
Be
Nice. Nice.
I don't know where to go.
It's
I'll
the
be
same
over
as
here.
last time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, come on.
I'm coming. Cinema.
I'm good. I'm good.
I'm good. I'm good. Ew. Aware, never post that emote again. What the hell is that?
What the fuck is that?
I don't like it. Thanks.
Look at me.
I
Fucking.
don't really want to look at you.
Oh. What kind of noise do you think that thing makes?
What? Ew! Why would you say that? Why would you even, like, think that? I don't...
I'm just trying
What's
to be
wrong
realistic.
with you? Hey,
I'm good.
no, I don't think that's true.
Get stuck in a fever.
Okay.
Now imagine that little thing wearing 2 pairs of underwear. Like we're onto something.
Maybe we are onto something. Don't say we, by the way. That's
Oh,
all
you don't want to be a part of this?
no.
Okay.
Okay.
I know.
Me when I mowed my worst. sorry, I didn't mean that. Wait, come back. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. Can't take you serious with like little sparkles in your eyes. Be nice and be a part of it. Georgie, you be a part of it. What's your headcanon for that little freak bomb?
Little freak bomb.
Is that not what you would call it?
I mean,
It's a tomato with human lips. I don't really know what else.
sorry.
Okay.
Is there a
Zora
way?
has pretty eyes.
Yeah. I'm not gonna make it.
You'll make it. No, you won't. I was so
You're not gonna
confident.
make it.
Well, I thought I'd rope down to you. Oh,
Here,
come back.
let me help.
No, it's okay. I can make it and then.
No, take this. Come here.
Okay.
For 1 second. To help. Surely.
Thank
Okay, now you
you.
can definitely make it.
Thank you. What color are your eyes? Are they green?
They're like, green,
What is
blue, and gray or something. I don't know. Somebody told me.
Oh.
You've
What
seen them.
I know. I don't know what you would call them.
Wait, I found a better way.
Oh, for real? Ouch.
Go.
Lips are beautiful tonight. Happy Funky Monkey Friday.
Over here.
I'm coming. That wouldn't really help. So the yari does it kicks in. That's kind of real.
Why get those tomatoes out of here?
Yeah, why do you have so many tomatoes?
That one looks really cute until you hover over it and you see the full thing, and then you're like, what the fuck is that?
Really?
Yeah, click on it.
My Twitch is kind of messed up. I get like a little like
Mm,
there is an
mm.
error.
Yeah, that's
I think it looks
unfortunate.
cute.
But if you like were able to see more,
Mm.
you'd be like, that's a little disgusting.
Do you like tomatoes?
That one's funny.
Sorry.
No, not really.
I don't either. I guess I like them if you can't taste the texture of it. Like ketchup
Yeah,
and
like good
marinara
sauce.
is fine, yeah. But if it's chunky marinara and you're taking like a little bite of the tomato,
No thanks.
that's horrible.
Sorry.
Sorry. Georgie, why are you mean to me? I've been nothing but nice to you, and this is how you treat me.
Shit, ain't nothing to me, man.
Just looked deep into the tomato's eyes, you know, true horror. Are they not just like little boba eyes? We're saved. I love
They're like little
milk.
boba eyes if you saw my underwear after the shit pant redeem.
What? Stop.
I'm just trying to paint a picture.
Thank you so much for that. You're sliding. Okay.
Sorry, I was hitting my groove.
Your motion.
I
Sell
don't know
it?
my motion.
Sell the milk? Or sell what? Why was there a flash of purple?
My aura.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Cozy.
Are you good?
Mm-hmm. Ready?
Yep. Have you ever cooked a hot dog on a campfire?
Nope. I don't like hot dogs. I hate them.
I'm not a big fan, but I guess I don't hate them.
I hate them.
Like if I'm at a little cookout and they have ones that I can eat, I'll eat one. I mean, you just
Like
love
Loki is
these
sad
here.
day if I have to eat a hot dog.
Let me write that down.
It's kind of messed up.
What's messed up?
I'm getting banned.
Oh. I think. Unless Tim is still here, I think Zora is the only mod. Sorry, we can't ban him.
Hot dogs have bald aura.
They do. I like corn dogs though, because they're like kind of sweet. And I think that's real nice.
Have you ever had the corn dogs that are like pancake batter and sausage instead of
Yeah!
hot dog and bread? Yeah, those are so good.
Those are good. Hot dogs with banana ketchup? Have you had banana ketchup, Jarchi? I just feel like that doesn't sound super excellent. Oh. Up that way? That
If you
looks
wanna.
like it leads to nothing. Hot dogs take 36 minutes of your life? Is that real? I haven't had a hot dog in
36
3
minutes.
years. No. I think it's in 3 years since I had a hot dog.
I went around and down, by the way.
And down.
It's windy.
It's windy. As long as it doesn't taste like artificial banana we're cooking. But do you think a real banana with a tomato flavor? I don't know.
That sounds kind of miserable.
Yeah, I mean, I guess ketchup is already sweet. I don't know. I would like maybe try it if someone
I'm not a ketchup enjoyer.
Oh, I like ketchup, okay. I like barbecue sauce better though.
Oh, me too.
Sorry.
Farming?
Sorry. Tomato flavored banana? I mean, that's probably what banana ketchup tastes like, right? What if it gets windy while I'm on the bridge?
It probably will. I don't know.
Well, I guess it's fine.
It's fine. Oh.
Are you scratched or do you have staples in your arm?
Whoa, what should I do, huh?
Oh, I guess it's scratches.
I'm
like your
scratched up.
Like your elbow is stapled. Have you ever stapled yourself before?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Is that regular?
I don't know if it's regular, but I remember it happening in school a few times. Like, like in elementary school,
Interesting.
people would like have to go to the nurse's office because they were playing with staplers. PBJ has 33 minutes. I don't like peanut butter. That's a little
Are you
cooked.
okay?
Yep. Where are we going?
I'm going down.
I thought we were going up.
Like there was no other way to go.
Oh, okay. If you see a carrot, let me know. I'm coming. I'm coming. Whee! Ba, 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 ba.
You make it right.
Oh, thank you, by the way.
Uh-huh.
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-da. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-da.
Da-da-da.
Yo. I like when it sounds like there's a dog whining. In the game, not the song.
Oh, when does that happen?
I don't know, just like every so often, ambiently, there'd be like a...
I think that's to you.
like I'm just
What you doing?
imagining it. I was trying to
Probably.
go up. I don't think I am.
Ow!
Oh.
You're so goofy.
I...
There's nothing up there.
What if there is?
Okay.
Surely up is good. Yeah.
No.
Where are you?
I'm on the other side of the tree.
I don't remember which way you're supposed to be going. Am I
Where you
going
going?
backwards? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
You didn't say that.
Up is good.
Okay, well, I thought it was pleasant. Ba ba da ba ba da ba da. You gotta just.
Do it.
I cannot lock in with this song playing. I'm gonna go feral.
You doing it, going backwards. Fun.
Yo! That's real. Yo, why are you throwing it back?
I was waiting for you.
There's a spider by you. Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, what? You trying to help up?
What? I thought you were
The
below
hell?
me. I don't think enough people have been kind to me today.
Oh, you look great today.
Thank you. I'm wearing a cinema roll hoodie, like a black
Oh,
one,
you actually do look
and
great
like
today.
black joggers, and
Wait, you're dripped
black
out.
fuzzy penguin socks.
This
Yeah.
is the best outfit I've ever heard of.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
This is so awesome.
Yeah.
What?
Hits Mike cutely.
Sorry.
Oh, it's
Over your
okay.
head.
Uh-huh.
Where'd you go?
The wrong way.
I'm not really sure how that worked, but it did.
Okay.
You stand there and then you can just climb straight up in the mushroom.
Straight up the mushroom.
It might be a little stinky over here with zombies, but it's fun.
Oh boy.
Can I have some of those mints,
Say please.
please?
Oh. There are zombies here, huh?
Yeah,
Unlockers. Oh, careful.
it's okay.
Hi, Classic. Happy Funky Monkey Friday. Man, I should have made that my tag.
Color. Oh, why didn't
Forgot.
you? You have
I
time.
forgot what day it is.
We're laying it down gently today.
We
What's
are.
up? It's a little bad up here.
It's fine. I got motion.
You got motion.
Yeah. Shay.
Okay, it's like safe over here.
Squeak. 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 Alright, where are we
Get up
going?
there.
Yep.
Yep. Come here. Cream remix.
Okay, well, that's nice.
Oh, this is where you were getting cooked last time.
Okay, well, don't say that.
Oh.
It was chill. Surely.
Okay, I have an idea, but it might not work.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Oh!
I'm dead.
Okay, well, don't give up. I'll cry. Guess I don't have any, healthy things, huh? Do you have healthy things? No. It might be heavy, though. You take your things, are you fine? Oh, you're not fine. Is it really bad? Bro. A zombie somewhere. I know what you need. Fart if you fart if you're hungry. You're not hungry. I don't have anything for you. I wanna be famous. That's not helpful. Thank you. Oh. Look. we drop you. And then... Okay, thank you. Wait, how do you make it explode?
This is great.
Yay!
It like didn't heal me anything.
Well, you woke up.
I can't carry my stuff, so if you don't want it, you can have it.
You don't even have...
Maybe the chain launcher. Maybe that's what we need right now.
I can... Are you hungry at all?
No.
Sigh.
Which is all damage. Where's the chain launcher?
In my hand.
I have it. Oh, actually, I can't even carry it.
Can I have it? Stop.
You can go over there.
lying.
Okay.
Okay, your backpack's empty, so we didn't lose anything, and it's so swag. Okay, don't worry, I'll find something that will help you.
Okay. Look, there's a carrot.
I don't see a carrot. Come here.
Here.
Come to you.
Oh, look, that's so much better.
Don't.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Alright, let's go this way. Oh.
Yummy.
Let me see the backpack really quick.
Take whatever you want.
Let's go.
Okay.
We're gonna try something a little goofy.
Okay.
You down for that?
Is that just in the... Okay. Is this just taking us to the pine needles? Okay,
It's fine, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine.
how hurt are you?
I'm good, I'm good.
Wait, get your carrot.
No, I don't have one.
Oh, there's one right here. I thought this is the one you were talking
Oh,
about earlier.
fuck! Okay, this is unfortunate.
Okay, where are you? It's okay, I'll help you.
Thank you.
Yippee!
This plan would be great if there wasn't a waterfall in the tree.
I didn't know there's a waterfall in the tree. That's kind of awesome.
Okay. Okay, this is fine.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Surely they didn't make it so you can't stand on the trees anymore, right? Okay, we're good.
Surely not.
You gotta like, oh. Wow, I didn't know you had that movement.
I got motion.
Good job.
Thanks.
Let's go up here.
Okay.
Hey.
Yay!
Wait, we're doing it.
Why do you sound surprised?
A little surprising. Hello?
Hi.
You good?
The window is really
Okay.
helpful.
I can't believe it. We did it.
We're not really at the top.
I think it's good enough.
Well, we have to make it to the end.
It's good enough.
Okay. Oh, hollow.
Hollow. Elusive.
Elusive. Oops. Oh my goodness. Excuse me. Not for you.
Careful.
Oh, careful.
Where are we going?
I don't know. Somewhere.
Oh, that's so nice.
Huh?
That's so nice. Up here?
Yippee!
That
Oh.
worked. I'm not sure what's next, but
I.
surely there's something on the other side of this mushroom.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yummy.
Yummy.
Yummy. Oh,
Whoa, what you knocking?
it's okay. I don't have a big noggin like you.
I'm so glad.
Don't sound depressed when you say it.
So glad.
I'm so glad.
Look at us.
Looking.
Impressive gameplay.
That's what I was just thinking. I was like, wow, Ascent 2, looking good.
Look at us.
Looking.
17 right here.
Sorry.
Something funny.
No, nothing is funny.
Something funny with my
No.
old cowboy hat.
No.
Sunglasses.
Hey, it's not like a cowboy hat. It's like a
Oh.
desert hat. Like you got the little flaps so the back of your neck doesn't get sunburnt. You did.
Talk about my flaps on stream, bro.
Sorry, my bad. Didn't know you're sensitive about it.
My flaps are sensitive.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. Are you laughing about my flaps?
No, I'm not.
What are you laughing about then?
I'm not laughing.
No, like, you were laughing.
I wasn't.
I'm sensitive.
I wasn't laughing. Sorry, you're sensitive.
Yeah. Bro. Fucking BBID. Yada does it.
Yo! We do another one.
On the house. Another what?
I don't know. Another one. Another one.
Sorry about the peanut shells on the floor.
No! Not that.
No, I'm sorry.
Really.
Hey, girly. Hold still.
So
I need help.
awesome.
Like low key. Oh, that's okay.
Well, you were in grabbing range. You get 67 minutes from eating 2. Ouch! Why did that hurt so bad? It's fine.
You heard it right in here. 3 plus. Oh, 3 plus 3 is 6, 7.
Yo! That was so awesome. Yeah, that was kind of bad. That was like not chill.
Why are you dead?
I don't know. I fell from
Throw me
like
that rope.
3 feet. Sorry.
Lay it down gently.
I'm not that kind of fella.
Oh. You just like me slapping it down? Oh, shooting ropes. I see.
Yeah. Stop! Can you not? Stop hitting that.
My flaps.
I don't want to see your flaps, bro.
Light it up.
Okay, hold on. That's so real. Oh, we have 3 backpacks. This is excellent. Crackling again. I wish
Am I
I knew
crackling?
what was happening. I don't know, per.
You probably need to update your drivers, your audio drivers or something.
But my audio drivers. I updated my normal drivers like a month ago when you told me to. Okay. You're sorry for my audio drivers?
Come here.
But if it was that, wouldn't it be like I hear it too? Hello?
Yeah, boy.
Oh man. That's not.
I'm fixing you.
Oh. Thank you. I thought that was for reviving people.
Nope. It just heals.
Oh. Okay, all good. Up better. Should have cooked it. Buy a new PC! I just got a new motherboard. And a new CPU and new RAM. So it's pretty much a
Activate
new...
Windows.
I don't have a Windows key.
Oh man, that's so unfortunate.
I don't... it doesn't really matter. It's just like a little watermark. I'll put a Windows key on.
Can't change your wallpaper.
Yeah, you can. You just have to know the workarounds. On my laptop, I did not have Windows activated. But it's still really cute. My background is cinema roll.
Oh,
Gaming chair, new gaming bed. My gaming chair is actually pretty good. It's like a little messed up in the back because my cats turn their claws on it, unfortunately.
oh.
But like, the part that matters is all good. It's pink and it has bunny ears at the top.
Yo.
Yeah, I'm kind of a
This is
gamer girl.
awesome. Cat, your headphones.
Yeah, that's real. Gaming bed is some Azu behavior.
Chainsaw bed.
Yo. You're so...
Woken up by the balls of fate and then started Repo collab.
That's so real. Hello, yours still like sounded like it was a snore. His genuinely sounded like he was just playing
know how to make that.
chainsaw noises.
It's just, you sound like somebody who's walking by his window with a lawnmower. I can't make that noise. I physically don't understand it.
It's just the Azu aura.
You ready?
Yummy.
What's yummy? Stop throwing it back. I wish there were fried eggs.
There is.
Not in the sand.
No, but like, there is in the volcano area, and we can bring them back to the same.
You can't bring them back.
Oh, is that real?
I think so. Maybe if you played on peaceful mode.
I don't know if it like locks the area behind you or not. Maybe it doesn't.
Ooh, I don't know.
Crazy hot.
Shut up. Oh man.
Where are we going?
I don't know. Ooh. Have you 100%ed this game?
No, there's like 3 achievements I haven't done.
Which ones are you missing?
Cook a honeycomb, a
Yo!
yellow winterberry, and an egg, and a coconut.
That's
Resurrect
so
a friend with a book, and escape the island without placing anything.
without placing anything.
Yeah, like no rope, no python, no putting anything down.
Oh, that sounds like it'd be really hard. Does it count if
That's not
you
that bad.
die? Like in all the levels and then just come back for the last one and don't place anything there?
I think nobody in the world can put anything down. I don't know if that's how that
Really?
works.
Sounds like it'd be so
Perhaps.
hard.
Go.
Yeah, bye.
This might hurt a little.
It's okay.
Is it nighttime yet?
It does look like the sun is still out. Unfortunately. We'll go Joe glasses.
Yeah.
We'll be crawling this little hole.
Okay. Crazy hot.
What good timing.
Wow. What a hole. Wait, this hole is awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
Nice.
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 What's that from?
I don't know, what does that mean?
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna eat something really quick.
You what?
I'm gonna eat something.
Okay.
Your turn. Come here.
Thanks. My extra stamina is all the way full. This is so awesome.
Oh, it's so pog.
It's so pog.
I was gonna say it's nighttime, but it's not feeling like it. I don't even know why I would
Can
say
you
that.
not
It's so bright as hell out
see
here.
that's
No, I got sunglasses on.
they're like halfway down your eyes though. You're not protecting shit. I had a friend who had like bright blue eyes, but then he like wanted gray eyes, so he stared at the sun for a lot of hours and it worked.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, can't be good for you, but I was surprised that it worked.
Oh
Oh my god.
Gray eyes, but I can't see anymore.
It's some sort of aura.
Blind aura?
No. I think it's nighttime.
Yeah, let's go.
Yippee! I gotta pee. You gotta pee?
Can we graduate this bean?
What is that from?
It's from your stream.
Oh yeah, Pippi.
I don't know what that is. It's a bean.
You gotta play Deltarune. It's so
I never even played Undertale.
what? So
Yeah.
good. I think you should do the genocide route.
I would.
Do I have a thorn, like, on my face?
Yeah.
Can you help me?
Yeah.
Thanks! I love Undertale. Gotta be one of the top 5 games
wish
I
I-
ever played.
Yo. I wish I like knew what was going on.
I, like... What? I
Well, I
figured you just
don't
said
know
it.
the lore that much.
Oh.
I like watched somebody play it, then like I kind of forgot everything. I feel like
Wait,
if you're
that's
the one
so
that
good.
plays it, you kind of don't be forgetting it.
Yeah, that's true. I think you should play it.
Got you.
Oh, hi.
Aye.
Yippee!
Yippee.
Yeah,
That's
man.
nice.
My soup.
I love grilled cheese. You like
Oh.
can't hold these guys for that long anymore.
Yeah.
They hurt you now.
I just don't touch them. Just, like, look at them and be like, aw, cute.
You gotta be really quick.
No, just be like, aw, little cutie.
Someone say your tall.
Oh, is that, like, right next to you?
You hit me in the fucking head with it.
Oh.
God.
Sorry.
I got you
Eat
something.
that. Uber. Wow, thank you. Okay, well, it's okay. Drink your sweat drink. Oh my god. Yo! Gold. If you do karaoke, can you do this one?
Maybe.
Or are you going for like English songs?
Slow dancing is like the only song I got.
Yo! That's not.
I quite like that one.
Is that all English or no?
No.
No. Is that
Mostly
hard?
Korean. No, I remember the lyrics for that one.
Really?
Mhm.
Oh. That sounds so difficult.
It just kinda is there, you know?
I understand what you're
don't
saying, but
know.
I don't relate to it. I think it takes me quite a while. I think the only not
Oh.
English or Spanish song that I like could do the lyrics without looking would be the Zora online opening. Because when I was in middle school, I tried really hard to learn it.
Oh, I love
And
that
I did.
one.
It's so good.
The episode where it's Christmas and that girl like dies and leaves him a message.
Stop. It's
I used it as a
real.
thumbnail for a cover recently of him like opening the message and crying.
Man, that's so
so good.
tragic.
I want to watch that again.
You should. Ouch.
Ow, it burned.
Ow, I burn.
Ow, it burned.
I can't play this game without thinking about like Chibi, like singing.
In the distance.
Yeah.
Everything burns and I don't know where it's safe.
Maybe by this little guy. Oh my goodness! Hi, Hero. Hero Boom.
Pooglet.
Pooglet. I love Hero.
Shit out.
Checking. Okay, well that wasn't really. I thought you were gonna do something nice for Hero.
Oh, that was nice.
Okay. Can you get the thorns off my noggin? Thank you. 2 pooklets! It's 2. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Yippee.
Yeah. Oh.
Don't hit me in the head with it this time.
You didn't even get hurt last time.
But like what?
You're so dramatic. It like bounced off your huge forehead. Sorry.
Okay.
What do we think? Wait, help. Stand all the way up there.
I don't know where I'm going.
Upside down kiss kiss. That's so real. Yeah. Only
I got a
bangers around here. Okay, what's your plan?
That's true. I'm in charge.
Yeah, that's pretty real.
Graduating my bean.
Yo. Summa cum laude.
Yeah.
Man, so awesome.
Okay, it's freaky. It's freaky. It's fine.
Man, you're about to die and your last words are, it's freaky.
Can you help me up?
No.
You're lucky.
I'm lucky for what? Oh my god. What? This is not lucky. That's so mean. That's so mean. You're
Hello?
killing me. What am I supposed to do with this? The biggest overreaction I have ever seen in my entire life. Okay, well, interesting. Bruh. Explain. I don't miss you. What the hell is that? Man. If you flip the 6, it's a beautiful upside down kiss. Wow, she, that's so beautiful. I will keep this in mind. Oh man. Surely I'm like a pro gamer and I can speed my way back up there, right? I'm kind of surprised I didn't land in the fog. I didn't think he would actually do that. I thought he was just memeing and then he wasn't actually gonna light it. But I guess don't underestimate Zora's pettiness. You are a pro gamer. What? Bro, I can't even hear you that good. You better do that like 5 times in a row. Oh man.
I hate a little goober.
I'm stuck.
Hello?
Hello?
Where are you?
Down!
Oh, how'd you get down there? Come here.
Oh, hi. Surely.
Yeah. The fog is coming. We got to move.
Wow. That's awesome.
Excuse you. Stay still.
Man, I don't want to hear it!
Why are you so mad?
You can't me.
I'm sorry.
Man.
Go back over here. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Can you say yari yari does it?
Yada yada does it. Are you still mad at me?
Acceptable? No.
Okay, good. Acceptable.
It was.
Not good enough.
No, like that's what acceptable means. It's like good enough.
Okay, well, like, good enough is not a compliment.
Yeah, it is.
Who put this can in here? What the hell?
Bro.
What's up?
Squeak, 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 squeak. Why pushing your desk around? What does that even mean? Oh my god.
Yeah, that was a little crazy.
Yeah, but check this out.
Oh, pretty.
I'm so impressed y'all are back to where you started. Listen up, Hero Hum. We're pro gamers.
Here you go.
What? No!
Yeah.
That's what saved me last time. I'm hearing
I
a
watched.
dial song. I watched.
No, I don't sound like that.
Sorry. What?
Some kawaii neko girls.
Wow.
Yeah, there's an orange one.
An orange milk. Oh.
My humble abode.
I can't think of any
Abode.
Rakuchan quotes.
That's
Cayman.
Hey, Kenan.
Oh wow, yippee. Oh, I thought this would be a little ledge. It wasn't.
Come here.
Zora did that so well. He's kind of got that
Excellent.
dog in him. We still need you to voice Raku-chan? I'm not very good at memorizing quotes. I'd have to practice.
That really hurt.
Seriously, right? I think I'm gonna die. Oh man, I drank my milk too slow.
We're gonna die now.
Yeah, I think so too. You want a hot dog?
No, that's okay.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to eat this
Okay, sis.
berry, cause I'll get like thorn damage, and then it'll kill
Give me
me.
a second. I'm gonna try to heal you.
I thought you were also dead.
Like, I'm less dead, though.
Oh, okay. Do the bit where she gets bit by a cat. I know my voice is like kind of on the higher side, but I don't know if it's quite that impressive. I'll try it next time I fall off a mountain. I guess I'm eating this. It's a little fine. Youch! Bam. I cut the phone line from the voices in my head. Oh, that's good. I don't really know what a dial sound is. Like, is that the sound of, like, buttons being pressed on a phone? Like, beep, boop, beep, boop, beep. I don't
Here,
think
got you some stuff.
anything made that sound. Yo!
How much hurt are you?
I'd say, like, 49%. Yo! Thank you.
We should be about even now.
Yippee! The calling someone dial sound? Like the ringing or the beep boop boop beep?
One of the songs could have done that.
Oh. Little guy.
Yo.
He's got like an ooh face. I'm
I'm thinking we go this way, but I'm not sure.
Let's try it. Thank you for healing me.
Yeah.
You should beep more. Beep 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 beep.
Meep merp.
Beep merp.
Kinda hot.
Yeah. Your flap's not helping, huh?
There's a ledge on the left of that rope. Like, you know?
I see it. Are you coming up?
Yeah, like I'm waiting though.
Okay. Oh, it's cooked. Whee! Aw.
Why'd you die?
I ran out of stamina. Hi, Big Papa! Oh, I died for real. You're burning! Yeah, it's kind of a burn moment. Oh, thanks. Look at me. She's so sad. Hi, Taryn. Happy Funky Monkey Friday. I feel like even if the heat damage goes away, it's still gonna be kind of over for me.
This is like low key. Unfortunate. Why is that scorpion spinning?
You rated this one and it's cute.
Oh, you're awake.
Skyrim. Yeah, I don't know.
It would be better if you were dead.
What?
Carry you. I can carry you.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like you maybe just
Let the
let
scorpion
me.
punch you.
Okay.
Or like burn yourself a little bit.
Okay.
Come here, come here, come here. You're gonna be too far out.
Let me get him.
Come here.
Oh. I didn't.
Gotta get you. Oh.
I didn't follow instructions. I'm not that
Is there like a milk in your
enthusiastic.
backpack?
I'm gonna check. No. No, it's a
An answer?
berry. It's a berry and a
You fart for me.
chant.
Okay, well I meant like if you fart. I'm gonna go up here.
I'm weird. I left the Discord call. That was too much. That was too much.
It's nighttime yet. You can come back.
I so miss it. I normally put a period to
Like
be
anytime.
cool and ominous.
Please come home, white boy.
Sure, I miss your streams. That's so real. He's a hater. He's a hater
I
for
could,
real, for
huh?
real.
I gotta wait till night.
Give up. That's so real shit.
You're gonna wake up again soon.
I am not gonna wake up again soon. I don't know how to talk to this guy.
Why is it not nighttime? If I had to keep you out in the sun, you won't wake up.
I don't know, the poison's not going away.
That's okay, it's nighttime. Wait, no it isn't. I'm getting baited.
I'd like to say to everyone, think F word it's Friday. That's kind of real. I love Funky Monkey Friday. You guys got any cool
Is that
Friday
nighttime?
plans?
Are we good yet?
I'm trying to think. I don't think I have anything going on this weekend. I'm going to the
Okay, even
flower
this isn't
shop.
working.
Ooh, I'm going to a flower shop to get a little bonsai tree sometime this weekend. I don't know when. Maybe tomorrow.
We're gonna figure this out. It'll be fine. I'm gonna... Okay,
You just
well, I'm
leave
gonna...
me
hold on.
behind,
I got
bro.
this.
Thanks for the bonkshi. I'm just chilling this
We're gonna figure
weekend.
this out.
I
It'll be
love
fine.
chilling. Oh.
Oh, die again, bro.
Ah. Uh. You can just like leave me low key, and it will be so
No,
okay.
it's okay. I don't want to leave you.
Like it'll be so
Good.
okay.
Just like touch this cactus and have it stick in your head.
Okay. Good night.
Oh, like you're dying a little close to the edge there. That's a big ball in my face. This is not the plan.
Bonsai are great. I know. Isn't that so cute? I've never had a bonsai before. I heard that you can make bonsai out of like any tree, as long as you
Okay,
prune
this is
it
still not working.
when it's
This is
sapling.
cooked.
Oh my god,
Oh my god!
he's just doing more. So sad. Oh, he went blinky, blinky, blinky. I don't want him to try to come back for me. That was unfortunate. Huh?
That was awful. Why'd you wake up?
I didn't want to.
That's so unfortunate. There's bandages
I'm
here. We
sorry.
could have been fine.
It's okay.
That's
You
so
need
sad.
those. You need those. You need those.
Oh man.
That's fine. You can hear me now. This is so awesome.
Yeah, what were you saying?
I was just yapping.
Oh, okay.
I laughed when
Why'd
you
you
said
leave?
there's a ball in your face. What?
There was.
It's awesome.
It was like a period of time where like you left for a second.
I don't want to talk about it.
Okay.
You're being weird.
I was trying to be logical.
It was weird. I'm sorry.
I know.
Bro.
Bro, I need to stop saying that.
You need to stop growling it.
I don't growl.
I know.
I don't growl.
Like an anime villain. That's what I'm saying. Wait, you're looking at a condo next week. Yo.
A condom?
A condo? Like an apartment?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
What are you saying? I'm looking at a condom next week, guys. Just thought you should know. I might be using it.
I gotta go. Man. I want to make a giant sequoia bonsai and pass it down for thousands of years. That would be so cute. I don't know. I have a friend that like had like an oak tree sapling and for a lot of years was like pruning it to be like bonsai style. And that stuff like kind of impressive.
Ideia.
It takes forever.
Uma ideia.
Look at this. Look at this expert gameplay. You're so
Look
close
at
to
me.
the top, I think.
Yeah.
Exclamation point tuck.
Fish duck.
Put your fish away.
Sorry.
Milk makes you not take fire damage?
It makes you not take anything.
I didn't
Nothing can
know
hurt you.
that. Wait, that's so nice. Next time I want to drink milk and then pick up a scorpion.
That would work.
That's so nice. The Sontag. Oh, I still need to make that. I don't really get that meme.
Why are we doing that?
Hmm?
You didn't even watch the Poisson video that I sent you, if you don't get it.
You didn't send me a video, but I was told
I
it's
put
from
like a
Genshin.
video in chat, and you were like, ew, I'm not clicking that. I don't want to know what it is.
Oh, that does sound like something I would say. The people want what the people want. I love pandering. I spelled it work. Work. Okay.
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 Good.
So you intend to fight me? Good. I won't hurt you, traveler. I don't remember what he says. Oh, no, I think he says I'm not gonna kill you.
I don't know.
I also have to go get my guitar back next weekend. Where's your guitar at?
Same place with the condoms.
It is just one, like singular.
Oh.
I don't know if that's an important distinction, but it feels like it should
Just checking
be.
it out. Not sure if I want to purchase it or not.
Ew.
Don't know.
Oog.
They'd like let you try them on first.
Ew! What is wrong with you?
I'm good.
Oh,
You good?
man, yeah. Said the shop getting repaired. What happened to it? I guess I've seen like music instrument repair shops before, but I guess I've never met
Sometimes bring it in just
anyone.
to get like tuned up, new strings and like intonated.
Can you not do that at home? What is
Can, but
intonated?
it's real nice when somebody else does it. It's just basically like making it all nice and pointy.
Oh. My family is not particularly musically inclined. I'd rather pay $70. That's a lot of
It's a little
bucks.
expensive, yeah.
Oh.
But like, you
How
know
do
it'll be
you
done right.
place the strings? Like, can you unscrew the grabby part?
You unscrew it all loose, and then you like take it out.
Hmm. I see. The song's about me, by the way. I want
You're so famous.
wanna be famous.
The guitar I have has nylon strings, and I had to like learn how to tie the knot whenever I restrung it myself. It was kind of weird.
Is nylon like super heavy?
No, it's more like plastic-ish material. You know?
Oh. Why is it different?
It's more of like a classical Spanish style guitar, and it's how they get their specific sound.
Oh. Have you seen
Yeah.
Coco?
Say put them on your head.
Can you play any songs from that movie?
Loco. No.
Oh.
Remember Me is my favorite though.
Yeah, I think that's gotta be the best one, right?
Probably.
I think so. Ouch. It's hard.
It's hard.
Guitar in question is Floyd Rose, so not only do you have to go through all the steps of a natural guitar string change to make sure that the action is right. I don't know what that means.
The action is the height of the strings, and oh my god, you're about to die.
I'm
Don't.
not.
Your lava is approaching rapidly.
It's okay.
Oh, you made it.
Wine and soda pop. You know, we had a guitar in my house growing up. So it was like my grandpa's guitar, but nobody played it because it was like my grandpa's guitar.
There's a ledge to your right, but like I don't know what's gonna do for you.
It's fine. It's not hot right here.
There's eggs over there.
Where?
I'll come with you.
Oh, thanks. Come fill me up, just can't get enough. I don't see any eggs. Feeling kind of dejected and eggless.
What you doing?
You said there's an egg.
Yeah, it's on this one.
Oh. What should they win?
Helping you.
Oh, I was just mimicking you. That was not a genuine inquiry.
Cheese.
You're too early.
Here.
Come in.
Don't follow Christmas lava.
Don't fall in the Christmas lava. What? What is Christmas lava?
I did not say that.
Oh.
Cheese.
Cheese.
Eat it.
It's so bossy.
Watch out.
Oh, it's a bird.
Chicken!
I didn't know that was fertilized.
Come here, it's burning.
I'm coming, don't worry.
Girl, come here quick.
It's okay, I'm coming. It's okay. I'm like not even hot. It's okay.
The fire is coming.
It's okay. You can touch it a little bit.
No, you can't. The fire burns you. It murders your ass.
I touched it.
The fire drowns me inside.
That's nice, sweetie. Did you get the chicken?
No.
Man, all my hard work.
There's more over here.
Okay. Cheese!
There you go.
Sorry.
Why'd you fart?
That's mean. I didn't.
You're all glazed.
You wanna be glazed too?
Oh, thank you.
Welcome.
Take your eggs.
I wanted it to cook. That's your egg.
Okay.
Click, clack,
Click,
bang.
clack, bang. Oh.
Oh, that hurt a little bit. But it's very chill.
Too, so like that kind of hurt.
Yeah, I guess so. Chop off my 7 string? Do most guitars have 5 strings?
6.
6. Oh. Does yours have 6? Wow.
In your leg.
Jeez. I'm sad about my lack of chicken.
My lack of chicken.
Yeah. Squeak, squeak, squeak.
Hi.
Squeak. Hello.
Why are you squeaking?
You're squeaking. I'm just repeating what I
I'm
hear.
squeaking?
Yeah, you're like.
What?
You're like
What?
shuffling around, are you not?
No.
Yes, you are.
I'm not even moving.
Well, you're squeaking. Unless I'm squeaking, but I don't think that's true.
It's probably you.
But I don't have metal, I have wood.
I don't know.
It's over. Go on without me.
Oh.
Ouch. Oh man. This is so sad. Wait, it's going down. It will be so okay. Oh.
Oh, I was gonna come grab you, then you fell in lava.
Wait, maybe it'll be fine. Maybe, maybe I'll cool down. Oh my goodness. I have 8 guitars, and it costs $70 to fix all of them. 6 of them are 6 strings. When is a 6 string? I assume you meant when is a 7 string. Maybe. And when is a 12 string? 12? I can't even imagine fitting 12. I'm a little no, you're not a little stupid. It's a lot of numbers to keep track of. Oh, sorry, it's kind of pogging. Don't worry, I'll cool down
This is
soon.
kind of a sussy.
Surely.
Sus.
If only we had that chicken, it would be fine. It would be fine and chill. If only I put more sunscreen on. La 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 la. Just feel the rock. We let the rock. Ba ba da ba. What you do on a 12 string is you have 6 normal size and 6 much smaller size strings that are right under them. Oh.
I sure hope you don't wake up anytime soon.
Oh my god, I'm gonna wake up like immediately. I was not locked in. Do you have to use a pick for a 12 string?
Oh,
Good morning!
What were you saying?
Thanks for getting me. I wasn't saying
Yeah.
anything.
Okay. Can you make it over there? Or no?
Maybe. I can
maybe
try.
not right now.
Oh. Maybe not right now. What? I want you to know we started saying la 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 like at the same time. And I think that's beautiful. Okay.
You can make this, sure.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, but... Oh, thank you. Boy, yeah.
Boy, yeah. We just gotta go there.
Those are quite large jumps. Can you jump this without hurting?
Maniac.
I don't know
Just
if I can take...
jump it, and if you die, I'll catch you.
Okay. Ryu. Ah, man. Fighting for my life and I'm
Hello?
losing. You're tuning to the same note in the harmony that resonate and makes a beautiful tone. You should. I finger pick on one of the acoustics exclusively, and the rest I use picks hybrid picking. What is hybrid picking? Sorry, I really don't know anything about guitars. I like watching people play guitar though. I think guitar and piano are like the most interesting instruments to watch be played. I don't know. I like watching people's hands like wiggling around. One of my sisters used to play violin.
Maniac.
And that's like really pretty to listen to, but it's not as fun to watch.
Oh.
Hey.
Come
I'm coming.
here.
Well, thanks. drums, guitar, and bass guitar.
Shwee.
Yeah, drums are cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
I love this one. BRB, oh, have a good BRB pop up. Take it on, take it back. Yummy.
Here you go.
Yummy. Wow. You can cook it first.
Okay.
Oh, you don't have to. Just a suggestion. True.
You wanna carry this lollipop?
No.
Nope.
Oh.
Here, let me take the med kit. It's probably lighter or heavier. Take the other stuff.
Okay.
You can eat the granola bar or something, so you can like carry it.
Yeah, that's kind of cool. I like cooking things, so.
Let's go.
Okay. Bada bada.
You okay?
Yeah. I just got
Boy.
lung issues. Are you okay?
Feeling elusive.
You're not looking elusive.
What?
Oh, sorry.
My flaps are flapping?
No. Not really at all. Can you get out of my way?
I'm sorry, I'm feeling myself right now. Go check out a condom soon.
Stop! I don't want to hear that. Like, I really just don't. You keep that shit to yourself. You don't sound that dejected. Oh.
Okay. Take a bow. Round and round.
Round and round. Up and down, round and round. It's a spot. Oh, thank you so much. That's so much better. Yeah, this is for you. I don't like that.
Okay.
You want to carry some of this?
Yeah.
Like that one or something?
Yeah.
I'll just eat this.
Let's go.
Yeah, babe. Are we cooked?
I think we're okay.
Yeah.
You should make a little baby backpack to put somebody in. You can have a personal
What?
item. I'll carry you around all the time.
Bro, I'm not that bad that you have to carry me in a baby backpack.
I don't know, it looks like a monkey one.
Oh,
Maybe like a
okay.
little tail.
That's kind of cute. I'm hearing you out. 5, 6, 7, 8.
To the max.
Yippee!
I'm not really sure how we're surviving here, but I'm gonna go over here so you can stand.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Interesting.
You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I gotta get out of your way. I feel like I'm gonna push you.
Oh, it's okay. I'll just go up.
This is not
Is
good.
this chill? Oh, it's not that chill.
Over here then.
Huh?
Over here then.
Okay.
You kinda gotta do the thing a little, or maybe you can just.
Yeah,
Good
baby.
job.
Shout out Azumazu underscore.
This is a little sus. What do you got on you?
I have a medkit. I have chill mix. I got a glizzy.
Let me try something to help you.
To help me? I don't need help. I'm
Yeah, because
chilling.
like you don't try this.
Okay. I don't need help. I'm chilling.
Can you get to this?
Where do I go from here? Like across?
Across it, if you can. Maybe you like need to like get some energy first. Take the trail mix or something. Are you cooked?
No. I'm cooking.
That was fun.
What?
That was fussy.
No, it wasn't.
I can go on the other side to help you. Just once you get up the chain.
Ouch, it hurts up here.
I know, but like you gotta just immediately go on this wall and go over here.
Okay. Going
What
up.
the fuck was that?
I don't know.
Girl!
Hold on, no, it's
Well, that
fine.
was not a part of the instructions.
Okay, it
Go
was.
window?
Listen. It's fine. I don't. It's fine. No, I got it.
I'm trying to help.
I know you are. Right?
Okay,
I
on this
got
wall
it.
over here.
Fine.
Lunge or something. Oh my goodness.
Oh man. Wow, that didn't hurt at all. Although it is a little lava-y, huh? I see. I thought you were nice. Oh man. Let me eat this glizzy. Oh man. It sucks down here. Kinda toasty. Ah. Good night. Oh wait, maybe I can throw my medkit. Do you think you got that? I don't think you did. Type. I just turned on my PC. That's what I would say too if I typed LLL and was being super mean. Sigh. Huh?
I am sorry.
Oh, don't be sorry. I threw my first aid kit. Did you get it?
Nope.
Darn it.
Wasn't even aware that you did that.
Tried real hard. That was kind of hard. I don't know if you knew that. You got this, though. You got no items in a dream.
Yeah.
Yo! Oh my god, you're so back. O is next to L? Okay, LOL is not much nicer than 3 L's. That's still kind of mean. What's your game plan?
Tuning.
Okay. Is it working? Okay.
Yippee.
Yippee.
I love this song.
I love it hyping.
What?
Is this not Sugar Talk by Hyphen? It is. It's
You're
not
not
called
listening to
Sugar.
the same thing as me anymore.
Oh. What are you listening to?
Being 5, 6, 7.
Oh. It says I'm in Zora's Jam.
Interesting. Why is this one not working?
Huh?
I'm getting cooked.
Are you? You look like you're okay. You just need a snack. Oh.
Wow. Like a little escape
Yo! Go crazy. This is so awesome.
Sorry, I'm locked in.
You're so locked in. Don't be sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
I didn't say sorry. I said you don't be sorry.
Unlock me. Oh, okay. Good.
Unlock you?
Yeah, unlock me.
How?
Okay, that was funny. I don't know.
I don't got anything funny.
No.
I wanna be famous!
Funny.
I'm so glad.
I'm coming.
You're doing so good. The lava is like so far down there.
Easy.
You're doing it!
I'm gonna wear a lot of socks!
That was like not even intelligible. Like I know what you said, but
Okay.
I don't think. Yeah, that's all.
Great.
I don't think.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome. Is this Loki just looping your eyes only? I think this is
And now I'm
the third
listening to
time.
it.
Oh.
Here, let me see if this fixes it. Does it fix it?
It changed the song.
Okay.
But now you don't get to hear it.
Okay.
Your eyes only.
Fake eyes open.
That's so real.
My eyes get too loose.
What? You're so echoey.
I'm sorry.
I don't know what you said.
It's okay.
Oh man, I like doing what you said. Huh?
I'm just chilling.
That's so nice. Oh, thank you, Icy.
Make you feel my love, la la.
Pika-pia.
Don't push the talk for the peak of fuck.
You were supposed to know. I'm stealthy with it. 100 out of 10. Really? I would have gave that a 7. Thank you. I'm addicted to you. Oh my god, you're so wired. Maybe you are nice. Yo, you did it! You're so good! This is excellent. Ideal good news.
Is your mic fixed yet, or are you just like
Huh?
being a freak, Bob?
Oh. Sorry.
You're good.
Yo! There's a train!
Yo.
Oh my god.
Is there?
I'm gonna explode, yeah. Can you not hear
I
it?
didn't even hear it.
Oh, that's so
Mm-mm.
sad. Here, I'll make the notes for you.
The train!
I know! So peak. Yo, what the hell? You could have had a snack for the plane.
I know.
Are you still like hungry? Why did you do
No.
that? Yeah, huh? Oh, okay. Got a rice guy over here.
I know.
My graphics though? I thought they were flowers.
Yeah, there is for me.
Huh. I don't know. They took my flowers away.
I got something pretty for you.
Oh, I'm dead. I don't know what to do with that.
Oh,
That's so nice.
not really sure.
What do you do with it? That's the icon that was used for the Iron Mouser. Try eating it.
I can't do anything with it.
Oh. Oh. Are you listening to the Oz song?
No.
Oh, okay. Why does the flag have Charlie Brown's hair on it? Are you sure?
It's a bird.
It doesn't look like a bird at all.
No, my gem!
Yay!
Yep.
What is this PvE? It's so white.
Hi.
Aw,
Hi.
just a little guy.
Okay. Okay.
It didn't feel so good.
Yeah! I guess raccoon is just
Yo,
the color
you
for
got it.
black. That's
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
Pretty awesome.
That's pretty awesome.
I'm speeding up, yeah.
Do you know the lyrics to this one?
Kinda. Some of them
Yeah!
I forget.
You what?
I forget some of them, but I
Mm-hmm.
remember most of them.
That's so awesome. Wow, shout out to all those people. Oh, my credits. Oh my goodness, welcome back, Papa. Peak! Real.
We did it.
We did it!
Good job.
Oh my goodness, good job to you. You did such a good job, except for shooting me out of a cannon. That was
Good
kind
job.
of messed up.
Oh yeah, I forgot I did that.
Interesting.
It worked so smoothly though. I gotta admit, it's pretty cool.
I guess it was kind of cool.
I don't know.
Yippee.
Hmm. Papa, what are you studying? I feel like if it's Friday...
Freak bobology.
Freak Bobology? I feel like if it's Friday... It's like, you know, you ignore your studies until Sunday. But that's just me.
Yeah.
Oh, that made my Happy Meal. Churchy, do you even eat Happy Meals? I thought you only eat fish. Come on to you. computer security and kernel level firmware. That sounds like a later problem if I've ever heard one. Why?
Fabulous.
Your leg looks broken. Why is it doing that? Interesting. I want a cute hat that
Sorry.
doesn't make
Oh, that
me.
one's like almost good.
I don't want to look bald.
Oh my god.
What?
Can't say I don't want to look bald and put that thing on.
I think this accentuates the bald. Yippee!
Yippee.
I love this song. Oh, thank you. I'm above you as I should be.
Okay, well that's not
It's not what?
real.
Oh. I think it is, but like that's
Yippee.
okay. A lot of people like that.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
Yep. Sprinkle. Yeah, I'm above you.
Yeah, above you.
What do you want to do?
I don't know. How are you feeling?
You tell me. I'm feeling indubitably.
Indubitably what?
Cheese.
Cheese?
Yeah.
I don't know what that means.
Cheddar. Cheese.
Parmesan. Cheese.
What do you want to do?
Cheese. I don't know. I would be okay playing
could-
another one or not playing another one. I don't
Okay,
know.
that's helpful.
Well, you're not exactly.
We could play like League of Legends.
What? Okay, I like
I'm just
League of Legends.
saying.
Okay. How long have you been holding on to
I'm
that
just
one?
saying. I haven't. We already peaked. I don't know what you wanted to do another one.
I like League of Legends. I'm gonna get
Okay.
clowned on, but
I know.
okay. Well, so you're below me.
Let's go.
Yippee! Cut off his yippee. I too like the boy. That's so awesome. I think you should always do that instead of studying.
I knew I was onto something.
Huh?
Knew I was onto something.
You're always onto something.
Onto something or on something?
I think onto something, but
Mm.
I guess it's Friday.
Wow.
Did you mean like me streaming it, or did you mean like?
You can, yeah, it's streaming. It's only been like 3
checking.
hours. You got some more time to go.
Yeah, I don't know. My collab streams are always shorter, but I didn't know what the vibe was. I didn't want to be rude.
There's no such thing as rude.
Awesome. Let me write that down. You're beneath me. You're a worm. Is that not rude?
No, I think that's pretty cool.
Okay.
Stop following me.
Stop following me.
You dare gaze upon me?
God, that's so real. Someone changed their name on my friend list to 6769420XD. Oh, I think that's a kind of good name. It's better
Are they
than
7?
It's better than Cooter Slayer.
I would be named that anyway.
Someone freaky.
I know.
I gotta go. It's I don't know if it updated or if I did something wrong, but it's asking me to like review the rules.
Oh no, they're just new rules.
Oh, I didn't read them. I forgot how to stream this. Where's my ICU Kami VT at?
It's kind of real.
It's kind of real.
It's kind of real.
I forgot how to stream League of Legends.
You need a window capture for the client and a game capture for the game.
Okay. League.
Gimme.
We gotta go.
Yo, I got a ranked reward for getting silver.
I've never played ranked in my life. Well, I guess I played ranked T, but that's all. On the window
Okay.
capture. This Morgana Veil skin is kind of hot. Yeah, I saw that one. It is kind of nice looking, huh?
It is really good.
Yo! So nice. No more peak rigged. Meg, I thought you were already gold.
Gold. Thought you had a league account and you were gonna play with us.
Yeah, what the hell? Meg hates us. This
I
is why
know.
Zora isn't live.
I know. Come.
No. I don't know how
Do you
to
want to invite Ice?
Yeah, where's my little eyes?
Ice, where are you?
Make salsa.
That's kind of real.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Just cover Zora up. That's fine.
Kind of real. You don't need to see me.
No, your model's cute. I lost my thing.
Let's see if I'm alive.
I have so many OBS things, it's not even funny. I lost it. I don't think I named it nicely. Now it's cooked. I'm trying. I dropped it and then it's...
You uncover my face, a tomato going.
Ew. Oh, I accidentally put it in a folder. That's why.
I'm in a folder.
You are. All my friends' Hoogies are in a folder. Oh my goodness, I see.
I'm gonna see if Ina wants to join.
Yeah, I like Ina. Slayer, I double gotta go. Yeah, that's kind of real.
That's not even real. When she saw my name for the first time, she's like, "Oh my god, I'm adding him as a friend."
I don't believe it. Do you want to go to VC where other people can join, or do you just want to? You just want to force them to play with us and then not
That
talk to
sounds
them?
kind of awesome.
What does forcing them to play with us and not talking to them?
Yeah. And I could be like, "God, this guy fucking sucks," and look over into Ice.
That happened to me once.
Oh, I've done that too.
Oh, you did that? It didn't happen to you? That's crazy. But yeah, the person I used to bot lane with, I guess, I don't know. I don't remember if we were playing Arium or if he just like forgot. But he was like, man, this Morgana is missing all of her cues.
Okay.
Me.
That's not even real. You don't miss.
Man. You gotta get down on your knees and beg for me to play. I would do that. Please, 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 please. I don't know if I can... My model can't get on her knees from this software, but just imagine. Please, 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 please,
All right,
please,
I'm gonna
please.
queue us up. That's cool.
What about
Wait,
Eba?
Ina's coming.
Okay.
You want to switch over to the VC?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go.
Mm-hmm. Wait, Mick, what if you just hopped in the VC and gave colorful commentary? That'd be cute, right? Yippee!
Yippee.
Yeah, pretty cool, huh? I smelled this game from so far away and I tiptoed here. Why did you
Ew.
tiptoe? Are you trying to keep it like on the DL?
Can't be on the DL when you say it in chat.
No, that's true.
Hello.
Hi. Oh, I gotta turn you up. You're quiet. And then I also gotta put you on my screen.
Look, we're all here.
Ew. Oh my goodness.
I'm just a voice in your head. You don't gotta put me on screen.
That's kind of terrifying. I don't want to just be talking to the voices in my head on stream.
I do that enough as is. So I mean, like, it's not a big deal.
Well, you doing that isn't the
Roar.
same as me doing that.
It's completely the same.
Are we the same?
Look at this little heart. Okay.
Yeah,
Eba.
Eva! Yo.
Yippee. We're all
Yubi.
here.
This is so nice. The
The game will literally not.
will...
Oh.
Ah, man, try harder. Try harder. I got my
Everybody
knees
else is
for
having the
that.
same issue.
What's
Oh.
wrong?
Just the lead client being dookie for me.
Oh, I hate the league client so much some days.
Yeah, that happened to me the other day. Meow.
Every time I open the league client, it just wants to break.
Have you considered?
Alright, it's time for me to go to bed.
Bro, it's
oh my
6:30. Wake up. Good morning.
I don't know. After hearing that, I don't know if I should wake up.
Wow. That's so awesome.
I love grilled cheese.
That suits you.
Yeah.
Yeah. BRB gonna restart my PC. Oh my god, that happened to me and that fixed it for me.
Oh, I literally just force close Riot, then open the Riot launcher itself, and then it fixes everything.
Yeah, I usually just task manager it and it works sometimes.
I nuke the program.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Do a couple of ARAM games and then we'll go into norms like usual.
Yippee! I think
My
I'm gonna
groceries are gonna get
restart.
here mid game.
Yo, grocery check. What'd you get?
Groceries. Everything. I don't know.
Nothing. He just
You
got
got
nothing
everything? You got
Yeah.
every grocery.
No, every grocery that I would get.
Okay, well I don't know what that
but
is.
nothing but chicken nuggets and frozen pizza.
The frozen
Bro,
pizza sounds real.
I got both of those things, but also that's irrelevant.
Bro, I know you.
Should we wait for Maker Play?
I think we could play. It's
Okay.
ARAM, so it won't take like 40 minutes, surely.
I just don't want to like be that guy.
Okay.
I'm just messing around with the program, trying to figure out something. So, nope, no.
Trying to figure out how to get a Vroid butt plug.
I mean,
Why
that's
was
easy. I just gotta
it-
talk to you.
Ew.
The little redeem, it changes it to purple.
Are your cheeks just out on your stream? Like,
Yeah, he's wearing like a tarp outfit and it's like see-through.
okay, that's
Um,
nice.
$10,000. I removed the tarp
That's nice.
with the Jacko pose and everything.
What?
um,
Okay, that's so
put the
interesting.
content warning on the stream, by the way.
Just put the content warning whenever I join.
Yeah, maybe that's low key for you. Just for you, I see.
No, let's go. Let's go.
I just
Let's
feel
go.
bad having like the sexual themes, and then people come and it's like we're just playing League normal style. It's like,
Yeah,
what
we're
the
playing
hell?
League normal style, but he's got a purple blood plug-in and he's like showing it to everybody.
Well,
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
R.A.P. Mick. Listen, Mick will be back soon.
Oh, you
Trust.
actually put it on. That's so awesome.
You
Well,
know, I didn't even realize I was playing a Lowy. I was meant to look at all the characters. Fuck it. You can play a Lowy.
Bucket, we fall.
Shilly.
I didn't get any runes, so I don't even know if these are good runes for a Lowy. Probably.
Shilly they
Probably.
are. Hey, I don't know how to.
You guys have such good skins.
I don't know how I got it. You want to know the truth? I don't know.
That's kind of
Awesome.
real. They just be appearing for real.
I
I'm downloading updates, and I can be in next area.
That's
This
so
is
good.
so
Hopefully it doesn't
awesome.
do the thing it did last time.
What did it do last time?
Her game worked normally until we tried getting into a game and it did that thing that was happening to you and like it would crash the loading screen.
I don't know how to fix.
Hopefully the updates fix it.
Like, I just gave up when that happened, and then the next time it was fine.
We'll see.
I
Chilling.
trust. Mick's got a good PC.
That'd be so exciting.
I know.
Oh, you guys can bot lane together.
Whoa.
you be the jungle man.
Whoa.
I never played Yorick in my life, by the way.
You got an York's
What?
really good.
My game's like lagging too. It's kind of weird.
Oh.
I mean, I'm so happy I can have two games, a program that does editing, and then play this. Why my lights literally flicker as I play all at once.
Your lights, like,
Huh.
in your room or
Oh.
like on your computer?
Okay.
A little bit of everything, you know.
What?
There's a little ghost that wants to play with you.
I mean, they could if they really want to.
Cute.
Wait, we're kind of eating.
Of course.
He really is just OP, huh?
As soon as you can get his wife up, you're even better.
Oh.
I think this
Roar.
is, so many people say it's a different thing. Some people call it him its wife.
It's basically his wife.
That's what I thought. I wasn't too sure.
What's his wife?
This
It's like a little
summon-
York's maiden.
creature.
Yeah.
The creature is his wife?
It's called his maiden.
Oh.
It's basically his wife.
He's got like a little thing that like goes around and does stuff.
Oh.
It makes it do extra. If his maiden is attacking you, and then he attacks you, and
Oh.
then he does extra damage.
I'm doing something.
That's good.
I got a shovel.
Better go dig a hole.
Dig it
But
up,
not
up,
for you.
dig it. Dig it up,
Oh, wait, I didn't know that was all. Oh, well. Definitely wasted that alt.
Yeah, you only want to do it after you do the grab successfully.
Mick. Like it's Friday
You-
night. You'll have time to play League and
You want to make sure that
DBD.
the more people around, the more tentacles you spawn, and the more damage and
Mhm.
healing you get.
And the grab clone
Oh.
counts as an extra body.
Okay.
Wow.
Good job. Surely Mick could play a DBD game if she waits.
If she launches DVDs, he's never gonna close it.
Yeah, and wouldn't that make the download kind of
It's slower.
so
Yeah.
Yo! She's bird
Yo.
pilled.
Should I pull my wife out?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
The cooldown stops whenever she dies, right? Or starts whenever she dies?
Yeah, it starts when she dies.
That was a crazy echo play.
Wowie.
That was kind of bad, huh?
That was a good old ice.
Let's try.
Yeah.
It was just unfortunate that that's how it went, but that is how you're supposed to use it.
That makes sense. I'm getting better at it already. Okay. Closed out that game.
Look at our Jonna getting kills.
Yippee. She's
Job.
trying. Oh,
You
thank you.
should play Jonna support and I'll play Yasuo ADC. It'll be really goofy.
I like Jonah support. I never know in the alt though.
Whenever you want.
Like now would be good,
Okay.
perhaps.
Aw.
You almost had it.
We killed it.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
Oh. I thought if you kill the shadow, it kills the person.
No, it just does a
Just
more
does
damage.
a little bit of damage to them, and it spawns tentacles around them.
Oh.
Any tentacles near them attack them.
Missed that.
I think it is possible to kill them, but they have to be like really low.
That's understandable. I see.
I'm
Really
gonna
good
caw all over
sign.
them.
Oh, good thing no content warnings on.
What do you mean? It's not a bad thing. Y'all are taking it the wrong way.
Oh, sorry.
I guess I'm kind of building tanky.
Oh.
Caw.
Also, Zora, when you get a chance, DM. No.
Okay. It looks kind of good. Wait, I'm liking this.
No, alright?
I need to get a better look at it whenever I'm not dying.
Take your time. I still hate the outfit.
Ooh, you're cooking something up?
Yeah.
Mm,
Oh,
indubitably.
oh.
Let's
Oh, good
go.
job.
Job.
Thank you.
You
Oh
want
my
to?
goodness.
How does her ult work? Can it just a heal?
Does it
It
push
takes
people?
It's a
Mhm.
heal and a knockback.
Yeah.
Oh.
So like if people are honest, it knocks them to the outside of the circle.
Oh. Okay.
Oh,
You can use it to like either push enemies to your teammates or away and you heal.
Is it kind of a knock up or just a knock back?
It's a back. I mean, I think it's maybe a slight knock up, but
Okay.
What's the
I don't really know.
difference?
It's like an airborne thing.
The airborne's different than knockback.
As far as I know, it's
It
just a
says
knockback, but
knocking back.
Oh.
the tornadoes, I think they only knock up. But I could be wrong.
Oh, I died.
Ouch.
Man, I hit the alt in proper times. It's just, meh.
Just die too fast, I think.
Yeah.
What you building?
So far, I got Sundered Sky, Mercury Shreds, and I'm gonna build Gods.
Okay. Oh.
That's so real.
Mick.
Oh my god.
Hi.
Hi.
Wait, is Mickey here?
Hello.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness. Wait, she's so quiet for me. Oh my
Oh.
goodness.
That's kind of messed up.
I'm sorry.
Why do you hate me?
I don't.
Why do you hate her?
I don't. I love her. I would do
Oh,
anything
you have her
for her.
muted. Can't believe it.
I
Oh
didn't
my
have her
god.
muted,
Where's the
she was-
PNG?
I'm working on it.
Oh, she hates
I
me.
thought you
She
loved
doesn't want
her.
me to be seen.
Pentakill!
I
Good job.
love
Let's
her.
go.
I would kill for her.
Guys, I don't know how to play this game.
It's okay.
Okay, I don't
We
know.
don't
It's the
need
same
that.
as DBD, I swear.
Yeah.
Oh,
Take it to
Where-
the
Different buttons.
where's the artist at?
It's way.
Oh.
Yeah, it's
It
way.
is way.
Ah.
Unless you mean Artist of Death, and then there's like several of them.
There's Jin.
There's Jin. Jinx would be technically an artist of a sort.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of crazy.
Jinx, I do know. I do know.
Arcane.
I
You should know Caitlyn then.
Yeah, I know Caitlyn. Yep.
Let's go,
No.
lesbians.
Both of those are ADCs, as I said.
Make
I
playing
don't
League of
think
Legends.
she
I have
will.
said before that I would be willing to play it on other people's streams, but I will never stream it myself. Never.
Fair.
Understandable.
Very valid.
We're happy you're here.
But
I
Foss
love
did have to get
Met.
on her knees and beg for me.
I
No,
did.
you weren't never gonna see me on my knees.
I did
Wow.
earlier.
Mm.
Yo. Oh,
Oh my
oh, Marcia,
goodness.
you're not supposed to be here. Look away. Look away.
Oh.
Marcy, you gotta join in now too. Get a custom
Um,
game.
She's already played League.
I know, right?
You already did
Yeah.
her League time.
Yeah.
Wait, Marcia, you
Just
could
sound like a prison
join in the
time.
voice chat and give spicy commentary.
True.
Spicy commentary.
We got
Isn't
the
that what
sexual
Foss said to
content.
me?
Yeah, I did say that. we got the warning on, so you can say spicy things. Be a
Oh,
bee.
I love how the Slayer is coochieing.
Oh, good job.
Oh my
Dina.
god! Wait,
Other
Young
Penta,
Gravy
let's
mentioned
Go.
Tuck's hair behind ear.
Like Dyson?
Yeah. Real.
You know, I was playing Valorant and somebody on the other team's name was
Ill.
Coot, and they were like, Cooter Slayer!
What?
You playing
That's kinda
Valorant?
awesome.
What?
Interesting.
I mean, what is that emote?
It's kind of cute.
X freaky. It is indeed freaky.
Where's my wife? This is fucked up.
Dead?
That sucks for you, buddy.
You're too mean to her.
Ah, that's
My
kind
wife
of
just
real.
joined VC. Oh my goodness.
Aw.
When you said being meaner, for some reason I thought of Viego and what he did for his wife.
Where's my wife?
Where's my wife?
Wife Doko. I think ulting at the beginning of the fight is a good.
Good plan.
Like right when everybody's about to go in, or like you're in.
I feel like I get melted before I can literally do anything. I'm doing good support, I guess.
I think
Ulting
you live a
earlier will
decent
keep
amount of
you.
time. You just kind of ult a bit late.
Yeah. And when you're ulted, you'll heal more.
Okay. Maybe if I try again, I'll learn her, because I don't think they're gonna live for much longer.
Yippee!
She doesn't seem that hard. I just feel like I don't see her tentacles ever come up. But they are purple, so I'm not looking.
Wow, you match.
You're shredding.
So I'm Quindolin.
He's bad at this thing.
Let's go some more assists.
Yippee! Yippee! Yippee!
Nice. You guys are killing it.
We're such a good team.
Slowly getting ahead of Alawi.
Yippee!
I'll wait for 100 gold.
100 gold.
And then I'm gonna walk up to them.
Okay.
If you want to walk up with me.
I need to be alive.
And a hat.
Yo! You're styling on him.
Go ahead, get in there.
Oh.
Now we go in. We don't even need minions.
Sorry.
Well, they don't have a
Later,
tower.
losers. Never mind.
Huh?
Huh?
You're good.
Did I sneeze in your ear holes? I'm sorry.
No, I don't think it
I
picked up.
didn't even notice.
Oh.
I just heard, sorry!
Sorry.
Like, that's how
Well,
you
then I'm
cope.
not sorry.
Yo!
Sorry about what? You might want to like play one without me real quick.
What?
I gotta get the groceries.
Does it take that long?
Oh, I don't want to like make you sit here.
It'll only take like a few
All right,
minutes, right?
fine. I'll be right back.
I like how you're sending private messages on stream.
Yo, don't look! Yo, what the hell?
It's not private if you're showing it on stream.
You're not supposed to be looking at my
Doxed.
private message.
Doxed.
No,
You're
stop.
doxing
Don't say
yourself.
that. Don't say that, Ina, please.
Doxed.
No.
I know where you live.
What? Okay, do you want to have a sleepover?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Everybody, we're having a sleepover. She lives at.
How did you say that? That is messed up. I'll go into ad break. Oh my goodness, thank you for the hydrate and stretch.
That was
Yummy.
the last time we ever saw Foster.
Yeah, that's real. Ina came and killed me. Are you guys doing anything fun this weekend?
Working Saturday.
You work tomorrow?
Yep.
In the morning?
8 to 3.
Man, that sucks.
Yeah, my life. So maybe me and Zora will be playing something after I get off work. If he's not
Nice.
dead asleep.
What are you gonna play?
We haven't fully decided yet.
I can't help but notice you've been opening a certain program recently.
You don't say anything.
I
Oh,
won't
I
say
see
anything.
it.
I won't say anything, but I'm really excited.
Does it start with a V?
That's one of them.
That is a letter.
Ew.
I said that's one of the things I'm opening. The other one I don't understand.
Are you
Oh,
making
I can help you with the
new?
other thing that you just opened.
I am making a new one. I did make a new one.
Oh my
Gasp.
goodness.
So
Gasp.
so we're all working on new stuff.
Iba, what are you working on?
Smile.
Oh, did you actually get it?
Yeah.
Wow. Yo. Don't worry, I'll keep it a secret.
Although,
Me
as I
and
will
the
always,
me and the 17 people watching.
I will still say that the program gives such basic clothing. I hate it.
Real, you gotta.
Yeah, but you can get
You gotta
get
download other
assets.
stuff.
Yeah.
There's lots of stuff out
But
there.
I'm not that
There-
good
There's a
at
yeah,
bunch
there's
that.
of
lots of free
out
stuff.
there.
I'm not that smart.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
my
are.
I'll help you
Surface
out. I'll
ring.
help you out.
We can have a crash course after,
Oh yeah.
cause it'll help the grocery one.
It would.
Real and
'Cause
true.
he's in the same boat as me.
Wow. Put your Minecraft beds together and share the same boat.
Well, we did.
Yo. That's so intimate.
Although I did push him off the boat once.
I mean, why are you singling me out specifically?
He's
I haven't even
curious.
played yet. I literally just joined the lobby.
Let's look at your profile. Oh,
Oh my god, he's level
Tristana.
4,000.
Wow.
What?
Where
How
did
do
you get this
levels work in
account?
this game?
Looking good. Huh?
I'm only 105. Why? If you look at Zora, he's 132. I'm gonna just. Foss is 85.
Yo, don't say that. I'm like 900, surely.
Yeah, if you want. I mean,
425.
Yeah,
Ina good.
that's crazy.
Tina, that's crazy.
Iba hard carry.
Boink.
Like,
Yeah, how does it feel to be playing with a level 10, guys?
I
pretty
was level
good.
10 once. I still feel like I'm level 10.
I was level 10 once.
No, I think Ina spawned in at level 100. They're like, oh
That's
my
the
goodness.
only way it makes sense.
Excuse me, ma'am. We see that you're a pro gamer. Here you go, right this way.
Tommy, what level are you?
Level
I
check.
am 105.
Furry Slayer.
We're so back.
Welcome
Welcome
back.
back.
Thank you. You
Welcome
can make me
back,
the
I
party leader or you can ready
guess.
it.
grocery one.
Oh,
Hi.
you go.
I hope this works.
Your groceries?
No.
I'm sure they
game.
will.
Yeah, my groceries.
Road work ahead. I sure
I
hope
sure hope
it
it
does.
does.
Bring the feast.
It's so
I don't know what this
over.
means.
It's so over.
Oh, I don't know if
Archer.
Trendemir would be a good character for you.
Oh my
Jared.
goodness.
Trendemir's. Who would be a good character for Mick to try out of that list?
Whoever she wants.
All of these
Okay.
are locked.
Oh, whoever you can.
Whoever you
I can
can.
play. I can play Trendemir.
All
That's why I
right.
Is it?
picked them. Yeah.
Okay.
Everything else is locked.
That's
Ooh,
okay.
Or you
He's
can
got a
explain
big
how-
sword.
Just
Man.
explain how Trendemir works.
Oh
He
my
Zora.
says
goodness.
you should wonder why
I'm
my
just letting
right
you
arm is so
know
big.
wait, hold on. Can I pick from the
What?
ones up here?
Huh?
What about this dude?
Nocturne.
Oh, he's well.
I think he's a
I
little bit
think
He's
you
harder
got
than
can.
he's like a
Trendemir.
What about
DBD
this
killer.
chick?
You
Oh,
Actually, you're right.
She's
kind of.
sexy.
pretty. Yeah, just pick
I'm
her.
picking her.
She
How do
looks
I
like you a
lock
little
in?
bit.
You're
You're
good.
locked
Oh.
in.
Automatically locked in.
Don't worry.
Game is still in progress.
You're locked in.
You're still locked in.
She's locking.
She's
Oh,
locking?
reconnect.
Locking.
What? Don't say that.
What?
What?
It says reconnect.
Give it time. Reconnect.
Game is still in process. Reconnect. This is what happened last time.
Bro, the universe hates me specifically. I just want to play my silly little game with my silly little Batgirl.
I'm sorry, guys. Maybe if you guys play another game, I'll see you on the flip side. I guess I'll be playing DBD.
Oh my
I'm
god.
sorry.
Mick hates us.
Oh no, the universe hates me. It's forcing me to play DBD
Yo,
Forcing
instead of
you.
League. Yeah.
why do I feel like
I
you
wanted to
closed
play
the
League
game
so
and you're like,
bad.
oh, guys, it didn't load
No,
in. I gotta go to
do it.
DVD.
Hold on, I'll send you proof. I'll send you proof.
Let me see this proof, Missy.
Hold on. I'll even do entire desktop so you can see the timestamp and all.
So official.
Otherwise, you're gonna be like, "Oh, that's fake. Fake news."
It's
Can't
true.
believe it.
Can't believe it.
You're scamming us.
Literally.
Are you guys in the game?
We're loading,
It's
waiting for
We
you to
won't get in the
load.
game.
Yeah. It's in a break.
What? Oh, how do I? I'm sorry. They won't just
Okay.
like replace me with a bot.
Nope.
Ah.
Keep on clicking. Does reconnect do anything for you?
It says game is still in progress, and then it
No, it
pops
didn't
up
work last
reconnect
time.
again.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Syeds.
Does anyone in chat know how to fix this issue? This happened last time I tried to play with
Have
them
you
too.
installed the game again? Like uninstalled it and reinstalled it since then?
I just had to reinstall the game, but like I didn't reinstall Riot, just
Huh.
League. Should
I
I try
don't know.
uninstalling Riot entirely?
I don't know if that'll help.
I don't either. I don't run into that issue anymore, but I don't know like what changed. I did a lot of stuff. I like upgraded my drivers and uninstalled the game and yeah, I don't know.
Well,
Well.
I'm sorry.
I hope y'all have fun. I'll be bullying you in the chat.
Thank you for trying.
Mainly
Thank
lurking
you.
while I'm playing the godforsaken game.
I hope you win. Are you playing killer or survivor?
I'll probably play some killer.
Yeah. Amazing.
Mhm.
Did you ever buy Kaneki?
No, I
What?
haven't yet. He's not up there on my list of
He's
next
not.
ones to buy.
He's supposed to be.
I mean, he seems cool, but you know,
Sigh. You hate me, huh?
I recently just got a new one that I'm like really addicted to. I think she's gonna be my new main.
Yeah, that's so good. I wish you the best of luck.
Can you guys like not back out of that? You just gotta wait for it to do its thing.
Basically.
I think
don't
once you
know.
like finally like lag out, it will be free.
Oh, I completely closed the game.
It'll take a
Oh.
little bit.
Huh. That's okay.
Let me go in Task Manager and make sure it's like completely closed. Maybe that will fix it for you guys.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Did it work? Because finally it did. There we go.
Okay. Yeah, I just force closed out of it in Task Manager.
Oh,
Sorry.
Don't
It's
be
okay.
sorry. It's not your fault. Thank you
Thank
for
you
We
for
can
trying.
just we can do
Yeah,
this
thanks for
34
trying to
or
invite me.
we use for.
I love you,
Oh.
Mick.
I love you all.
Oh, come on, can you?
Lost. I
Uh-huh.
hope we kiss later.
Yo, don't
All right,
tell
bye.
them.
Bye.
Bye.
We're gonna do a remake.
We can.
How do you do
Start it.
that?
I gotta wait for the time to like progress a little more.
Progress. Whoops.
Oh my god, Foster's a Ballets Crunk main.
I've never played this guy in my life.
Mm,
He's cute though. I like robots.
I'm gonna spit on everyone. Cause
Oh.
I'm a void puppy.
Hacked one.
Ew.
What?
Ew. Why did you guys say that? So
I'm
interesting.
sorry.
Blame Zora for making
I'm
me
still
come
in
to my head.
tomato mode.
How do we get you out of that?
Well, yes. Here we go. Now I'm out of it.
Okay. The guy's not built for League. So over. Hello?
Hello.
Did you cough or make a noise?
Yeah. Cough.
Bless you.
Uncle. Oh.
No,
We
she
just
got a
did that.
penalty.
She got a penalty. Although let's be honest, by the time she gets back to playing, it'll be run out.
Oh man.
Oh man. We're gonna get her to try for a third time and she's gonna have to sit there for 5 minutes.
You gotta get her to turn her camera on because I know she's pressing like the close game button as soon as it loads up.
I don't
Well,
think she is.
No, I'm just kidding.
She's all
Sigh.
F4ing the moment the game loads because he hates the game.
You should probably get off.
Oh,
Oh.
goodbye, Ipa.
Goodbye. Thank you
Yeah,
for the
don't
game.
make
Thank you for
more.
playing.
Yeah, thank you for joining.
Yippee!
Eh, You guys are still hanging out later.
Yeah.
That sounds
I'll
so
be
good.
there.
Happy Funky Monkey Friday.
Funky Monkey Friday.
Cute.
Bye bye. Have
Bye
fun
bye.
with
Bye.
games.
Yeah.
Yippee!
I miss her already.
Yo, that's
Can't
my
believe it.
line.
Wow.
I was gonna say that.
No, you weren't.
I say that like every time.
You literally copy me.
Bro. I'm rage quitting. I'm ending stream.
She hates me.
What?
There's a lot of hate going around today.
There's something in the air.
The liar in court. Get this shit out.
Yo, what is it?
It's a monster.
But
You can have the tab though.
Can I actually?
Well, flavor monster.
Oh, I like the original.
What flavor monster?
What flavor monster you play?
Where were you last night?
Where were you last night on the 25th of November?
What does that
Why'd you start
mean?
talking like that?
What does that
You
mean?
see? You see? We knew what you were doing. You see?
Oh my goodness.
You're like the scientist from Whoville.
Wow. It's
Yeah, yeah.
awesome.
Okay.
I hate the game, but I love hanging with my friends. Aw.
Uh,
I love hanging out with you.
what if we just like, played a different game soon?
Real.
of hope you see. That's me.
Yone? Thank you.
That guy has Dangerous voice actor.
Who? Yone?
Derek.
Really?
Derek?
Mm-hmm.
Dainsliv?
Jerry Lowenthal.
I can see it.
For beauty. Pick your name.
Ready.
Oh, fuck yeah. Give me Vi. Give me V.
Sorry, I don't even know what song's been playing. I was like AFK in the brain.
It's okay. Whatever playlist you're on is good. Okay.
This desk is squeaky, huh?
I can't hear it anymore. I think it was just like
Good.
Pika sensitive. Don't worry. Bam, 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 bam.
I'm dying. Don't worry.
You're dying. We just got in.
No, I'm in IRL.
What?
Yeah.
How are you
Yeah.
dying? Hello?
I'm dying.
What? What's
Oh.
wrong? Hello?
Oh no.
Um,
Cheeseburger.
cheeseburger. Oh, hi, Carrot. Thanks for the hydrate. I see. Maybe you should hydrate too.
I got coffee with some.
That's tough.
That's
That's fine.
dehydrating.
That's fine. Just take a sip.
Get some menu.
Why
Yeah,
does it
don't laugh
sound
at that.
gross
That's
when you say
how we
it?
were out of tomato.
I lost my
Okay.
mouse. I lost my mouse. Where's my mouse?
Oops.
I can't say anything around here.
It's because you always make sussy little jokes, and so it's like really easy to like think that you're being sussy all the time,
He is a
constantly.
sussy.
That's what I'm thinking.
Get something in you.
Ugh.
You volunteering?
Don't say that.
I need healing. I need a hero.
I can volunteer.
I don't think I can hear you.
Yo.
Shh. Oh man.
We're getting destroyed.
Yeah. My bad, Chiefs.
Chieftain is not happy.
Sorry, Chieftain. I'll do better.
Because we're not playing the normals.
I know, that's next game.
I feel like that
Yeah.
wouldn't be better for me personally. Like it might be, but I think my performance is just kind of washed. That isn't an X Cinnamon Fox X stream. Don't worry, I put the mature content warning on just for IC.
Hi.
Oh, thank you, Carrot. That's so sweet of you. Oh,
Get him.
everything hurts. Yeah.
Hang.
You guys are cooking.
Come out. I do a lot of. I'm good
I'm
with
dead.
Vi.
Oh. Oh man. Sigh.
I love this song.
Me too.
Yippee.
So I want him to teleport, but he's not.
Eat him alive.
Yummers.
Yummer.
Knew I was gonna die there, but not for long.
This is not good.
This is not good.
Whoever said that's kind of real.
Mm.
Don't disagree.
I didn't. I said, mm.
You were thinking about disagreeing.
Okay, you
I'm
go.
dead. I'm dead.
Yikes.
I don't want to be here just yet until people are here.
Ch- Yeah, you're kind of real for that. This is scary.
Not that scary.
I'm scared. Man, it's so over.
What a play. Oh my god. I'm so good. Sorry. I'm enjoying this.
Well,
I go steal their heal.
Cooper.
you're doing such like 180s. You're like, it's so over. God, I'm so good.
That is Zora in a nutshell playing this game.
That's me in a nutshell with everything, I think.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
I'm gonna explode. We're so back. You me.
Yeah, boy.
My game is being funky.
Oh,
Time for
funky
you to stop
how?
being funky.
Happy Funky Monkey Friday.
Yeah.
Mario. Ouch.
We got rooted. That's fine.
Where did nobody help? Oh, sad.
I got stunned.
Well, you were so far away.
Yeah. We lost.
Cool.
We're cooked. Wait a
We're
second.
not.
I'm kinda cooked.
You gotta start exploding or something. Drink your monster.
Okay. Drink those nuts.
That's your job.
Damn.
I think we're like it's not that bad.
We're so back.
We're so back.
Leave me.
I'll get Volibear as soon as he gets in range.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Ugh.
Ouch.
Ouch.
Okay, this is less ideal.
I didn't know the Hex Gate even had a cooldown.
If you
Yeah.
disable it, then come back, yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Grab that heal, Boston. You get the most if you grab it.
Aye aye.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah, a lot of healing.
A lot of healing there. They're being altered.
So much healing. So good.
Yummy.
What's the
That
plan
guy's.
here? Did
I
you
don't know.
die?
He was way too close.
It's a lot of fellas.
My fellas.
Oh, my fellas. Hi.
Seraphine needs to die first.
Hi, fellas.
Oh, you're crazy for that. Maybe you're not crazy. Maybe this works.
I know what I'm doing.
Yo, that was so cool. Good job.
We killed all of them.
Yippee.
Vi's good.
Yippee.
Let's hit this tower.
Aye aye.
Okay.
Oh.
Thought we would break it. I turned the oven on.
You're making a pizza?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I should probably go and put that in there soon.
Go do that.
Well, like, I'm back in like 3 seconds, so it's fine. Next time,
Yeah,
like,
I said go do that. I didn't chastise you.
no, like, I'm gonna be alive in 3 seconds, so I can't do it yet.
Oh, I see.
Coming with me.
Alright. Well, you're fucking
Oh,
Oh, well,
stunned. So
I'm dead as hell. That was booty. Whoever told you guys to go in like that?
Put
oh,
your pizza
I
in.
don't know.
Stop doing stuff like that.
Oh.
This song matches the vibe.
Winter.
Let me actually listen to it.
Far we can be. Man, we're gonna lose.
Oh. Perhaps.
We gotta go for the squishy guys first and ignore Volley Bear. It's the only way.
Like that?
Yeah.
That would do it.
Going crazy.
Uncle Pinanasharang.
Oh.
They'll me back up in about soon,
We're
right.
so back.
We're so back.
We guys should have got that heal.
Oh my god.
My
Roger,
Pentas!
that Jerry took it.
That was cool though.
It was. We're so back. I can make a pizza.
Well, maybe like not right now.
Yeah, I can do it right now.
Maybe wait like 30 seconds.
It's just gonna hard focus. 2v5.
Look at
Yippee!
us. We're so good.
We're so good. You disconnected.
He always does
Yeah,
that.
I leave faster than everybody else because I'm cool.
No, because he's lazy. He doesn't want to go through 10 million load screens because he's lazy. I got an S plus.
Well, then you
Good
can't
job.
honor players, right?
You can.
Oh, but then how? Yo, you guys both got F pluses. Wow.
Yeah, we're so good.
I'm really good
You're
with
so
Vi.
good.
Yippee. I can queue us up first. Like, I don't have to just, like, leave.
No,
Unless you guys need to
here.
do something too.
I
I'm gonna bring my plate
raid
downstairs,
into
so
Mick
give me 2
strategy.
seconds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yippee.
Yippee! I'll be back.
Okay.
Okay. I'm muted in Discord. Um, um, I think this was a successful stream. I think we did pretty darn good. Thank you all for watching. I had a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun. And I hope you have a lot of fun watching Mick. I want to give her lots of support. I love her. I want to kiss her for real. Thank you for stream. Oh my goodness. Thank you for coming to stream. And I gotta find her. Oh, here's a raid message if you'd like it. If you want, or you can just tell her that Frost loves her. Either one is fine. But I'll be live again tomorrow. I'll be playing Warframe tomorrow, so be there or be square. I'm gonna try to fish for 1 billion orcs, and it'll be so good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Flashing. Real and true. Real and true. Okay. Happy Monkey Friday, you guys. Have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.